Welcome into the Kettleers starting nine. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside Joe Pratt. And Joe, last night the winning ways continued for the Kettleers, capturing their third consecutive win with a 6-1 victory over Brewster. And last night it was the pitching that really shined.
Yeah, it really was. Giving up just 4 hits across 8 innings. The game ended early because of darkness, and offensively the Kets were really able to get things going early on. And after taking advantage of 3 unearned runs in the top of the 3rd inning for the Kets, that really took the wind out of Brewster's sails, and it was really the Kets ball game from there.
Kettleers' offense has exploded for 28 runs over the last 3 games, and that's been a big factor to this winning streak. How do you see the bats coming alive today against Chatham's pitching staff?
Yeah, well, this is a Chatham team that has had a great start to the season. It hasn't been the Anglers team that we've seen the last couple seasons. This is a very competitive ball club with solid pitching and great offense, so it's going to be a tough game as both of these teams come in at 4-3, still trying to climb their respective divisions. And so I think to keep the offense going, I think that first inning, those first few innings, and getting that first run on the board is going to be crucial. The Kettleers, in each of the games that they've won so far this season, except for one, they've scored the first run. So clearly that's been a recipe for success, and hopefully they're able to get that done tonight against Chatham.
You talk about the first 3 innings being the key innings to the game. Getting the start tonight for the Kettleers, Anthony Ianson, a guy who's making his 2nd start of the season. What are you looking forward to seeing in him in outing number 2?
Yeah, well, I just hopefully can see more of him pounding the lower part of the strike zone. This is a Kettleers staff that has maybe run into some trouble when they haven't been able to hit the zone, but particularly leaving pitches up high and giving guys pitches to hit. But Ianson, the last time he was out, did a good job of keeping pitches low, so hopefully he's able to continue that and settle things down for the first few innings of this game at least, and then send things to the bullpen, who are hopefully able to keep things calmed down for the rest of this game.
We'll see if the Kets can make it 4 straight victories tonight, as first pitch is just moments away here against the Chatham Anglers. Now we'll send it to Adele Huffman with shortstop Tyler Cerny.
Hey guys, my name's Adele Huffman and I'm here with Tyler Cerny from Indiana. Tyler, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Indiana, with Devin. So, yeah, I'm a shortstop and I love baseball.
Tell us a little bit about the decision process to come to Cotuit this summer.
Yeah, no, I just wanted somewhere to come and compete, showcase my talent and, have a fun summer with some great guys and learn baseball from great coaches.
So the summer's just starting, but is there anything about Cotuit that you find special already?
It's such a tight-knit community. A lot of people here you see all the time. And everyone's super nice that I've met so far, and I love it here so far.
Good. And what made you passionate for baseball in the beginning, and when did it all start?
So I started playing baseball when I was about 5 years old in Little League. Grew up watching Derek Jeter. He was my favorite player, so I always loved watching him, and he really helped me fall in love with the game. And my parents would always play catch with me after playing games. I always would want to do something with that after. So I've just always loved the game.
And then one last question: what's it like playing with Devin at Indiana, and then also here this summer?
It's really fun. Me and Dev are best friends. He's my roommate back at school, so we hang out all the time back at school, and it's awesome to be here with him and having fun playing the game we love.
Awesome. Thanks, Tyler, and good luck today.
Thank you.
It's Game 8 of the 2024 Cape Cod Baseball Summer League season as the Cotuit Kettleers face off against the Chatham Anglers. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner Joe Pratt. And Joe, these are 2 teams that enter play today, both with the same record, coming in at 4-3. Chatham sits at 2nd in the East Division. Cotuit sits in 3rd in the West Division, but this is a Cotuit team that is really playing strong baseball.
Yeah, they are. 3 straight wins. The offense has come alive. We're sitting here about a week ago, Alex, and they were down in the bottom of the league in pretty much every offensive category, including batting average. They were 9th, hitting sub 200, now up to 258, 3rd in the Cape Cod Baseball League, going up against this Chatham team who has also been playing really solid ball as well. And they have a 4-3 record, just like yesterday. Both teams, just like when the Kets played the Whitecaps in Brewster yesterday, they were 3-3. The Kets were 3-3. Now 2 4-3 teams going at it again today, and 2 really hard throwing pitchers on the mound for both teams. So this should be a good one.
You talked about the pitching matchup, and that's where I was going to head next to. This Chatham's pitching staff has really been dominant to start off the year. 2nd in the league with a 2.48 ERA as a pitching staff. Also tied for 2nd in the league with 73 strikeouts So this is going to be a hard task for this Kettleer lineup.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Kyson Witherspoon entering today throws really hard with the fastball into the mid-90s. He might get up into the upper 90s as well, going up against Anthony Ianson, who can pump the heat just as good at 93 to 94. And also these guys working into their next starts of the summer. So hopefully something to build off for each of them, especially Ianson, who was able to go a couple innings the last time he was out right here at Lowell Park. Hopefully the Kets are able to extend them to closer to 4 to 5 innings maybe today and then send things to the bullpen. But it should be a good one, and I think getting on the board first for both of these teams might definitely dictate who has the advantage moving on into the rest of this game.
And the pitching matchup today, Anthony Ianson getting the ball for Mike Roberts' squad. Ianson in the game against YD went 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, gave up 1 run, walked 1, and struck out 3 while tossing just 50 pitches. And Kyson Witherspoon on the other side for Chatham did not factor in the decision, but pitched 4 strong innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, did not walk a batter, struck out 6, and went 4 innings pitched. So both a lot of guys that offer a lot of velocity. So these lineups facing very hard pitchers today.
Yeah, they are, and these are 2 lineups who in recent games, especially for the Kets, have been able to really capitalize on mistakes that these other teams have made, mainly last night being at Brewster. Kettleers scoring 3 unearned runs compared to the 6 total runs that they got in the game. And so I think that when you take into account momentum in the baseball game, that really can have a big impact on that. When you're making mistakes in the field and then you're on the other side, not being able to get hits and getting too many guys in scoring position, that doesn't help your team as well. So it all kind of collectively brought everyone down on the other side for Brewster last night, while also giving some momentum to the Kettleers lineup and the pitching staff, who was stellar in their outing last night in 8 innings at Brewster in that 6-1 win. So hopefully we will get more of that today, and a good one that should be lined up here against the Anglers.
That pitching staff last night allowed just 4 hits. Ben Jacobs got the ball, allowed 1 hit. Joey Volchko 2 hits, and Jacob Schaefer 1 hit. They shut down this Brewster lineup, struck out 13 batters last night, and Brewster hit just 4 for 24, and that's another potent lineup. So who are you looking forward to seeing today after a guy like Anthony Ianson? Because this is a well-rested Cotuit pitching staff.
Yeah, it is. I think that's a good point that you bring up, because you're coming off that game against Harwich on Thursday night where they blew them out 18-4. They didn't have to use too many arms in that game. It was only a 7-inning ball game. And then another 8-inning game against Hyannis here on Friday night, and another 8 innings last night. You've gotten great performances from the starters to enter in these games and calm things down early to allow the offense to get into a rhythm and get their second and third looks against the starter on the other side. So today I think this lineup could just hopefully be able to keep things going, to get the hits and runners on board, and those singles that Mike Roberts keeps hitting on are definitely going to be at a premium today against a Chatham staff, which, as you mentioned, has been stellar.
Those singles have really been the key. Once Mike Roberts said that, you could just see a shift in the mentality of this Cotuit lineup that we'll preview after the break. But just talking about this offensive attack that the Kets have had, they've worked a lot of walks, they've gotten a lot of singles. Yes, the long ball has been a factor as they've hit a bunch this year. They've hit 5. That sits 3rd in the league. Grant Jay, he is a couple. You've seen contributions up and down the lineup, but they're getting more consistent production from the middle of this Kettleer lineup.
Yeah, I think that's what you really like to see. And at the bottom of the lineup today, you have Jaron Advincula with Tanner Thatch to go along with the top half. Max Ballou, Nolan Naraki, each of which had hits in last night's game, had hits in the previous game. So these are guys that are bookending the lineup and doing a great job to keep the offense rolling, even despite when you move down in the order, you might think that the offense could slow down, but that's definitely not the case. This is a strong lineup all the way from 1 to 9, and the same thing is true on the side for Chatham.
With the national anthem about set to be played, we'll step aside for a quick commercial break, but lineups, first pitch baseball coming up here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Osterville. Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety.
Kettleers are just about set to take the field here at Lowell Park, just moments before first pitch between the Cotuit Kettleers and the Chatham Anglers. And Joe, before we have a moment, why don't you run us through this Chatham Anglers lineup?
Here's how the Cats line up against Kyson Witherspoon today. Max Ballou will be the leadoff batter playing in right field. Nolan Naraki plays the hot corner at third, batting second. Devin Taylor in the three spot is the designated hitter out of Indiana. Nate Hall plays in center field and bats cleanup. Brandon Compton back in the lineup after not playing yesterday. He plays in left field and bats fifth. Tyler Cerny, the shortstop for the third straight game, bats sixth. Brooks Bryan at seventh behind the dish, and Tanner Thatch plays first out of UNC Wilmington. Jaron Advincula rounds out the order in the 9 spot and plays second base. Anthony Ianson will get his second start for the Kettleers right here this afternoon.
And head coach Mike Roberts going back to using more righties in the lineup. You're seeing Nolan Naraki, Nathan Hall, Tyler Cerny, and it's been these insertion of Naraki, Hall, and Cerny into this lineup that's really diversified it up and give the Kettleers offense some different looks as they take the field here at Lowell Park. And now, since we have a moment, let's go through Chatham's lineup.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Austin Overn will lead things off for the Anglers. He plays in center field out of USC. Jaden Davis plays second, bats second. Ike Irish is back for another season with the Anglers, and he is the DH today, batting third. John Bay plays in right field, followed by Kyle Lodis, who is shortstop and bats fifth. Luke Cantwell plays first base and bats sixth. Kyle Johnson plays in left field and bats seventh. Campbell Smithwick, the catcher today behind the dish, batting in the 8th spot, and Jet Johnson is the 9-man in the order, and he plays at third base. Kyson Witherspoon, as mentioned, back on the bump for the Anglers.
And John Bay has really gotten off to a hot start so far for Chatham this year. In 6 games, he's 6 for 17. That's good for a .353 average. Also has hit 2 home runs this year, has driven in 6 RBIs. And along with the leadoff man, Austin Overn, who's going to be a tough task to get out for Cotuit starting pitcher Anthony Ianson. He's another guy who's hitting .333 this year. He's gotten on base a ton. Also has hit a home run, so a lot of potent hitters at the top of this Chatham order.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a part of the lineup that Ianson is going to have to handle early on in this game because he's going to have to face them in these first 4 batters. I think this is a Chatham lineup that will get their looks against Ianson and definitely learn from their first time around the lineup. We'll see how long Ianson is left in this ball game, but of course, in pretty much all levels of baseball, those second and third rotations around the lineup is when a lot of the damage gets done. So if Ianson can make a solid first rotation around and then capitalize the next go-around of this Anglers lineup, hopefully he can settle in for the Kettleers today.
So Austin Overn digs in. He's ready. Anthony Ianson's ready as Overn swings at the first pitch, hits this one into the right center field gap, looking up, and it's gone. All it took was one pitch, and Chatham gets on the board as Austin Overn goes yard for his second home run this year. And Chatham takes an early 1-0 lead on the first pitch of the ballgame.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame show, how important it is to score that first run of the game and get on the board early. Well, Chatham wasting no time. One pitch and now a 1-0 lead. Austin Overn is greeted by the rest of the guys in his dugout. A lot of noise coming from that first base side, silencing this Cotuit crowd early.
Now it's the second baseman, Jaden Davis, as he watches the first pitch breaking ball catch the strike zone. As Chatham's dugout got super loud after that home run. Over going to the dugout and celebrating big time with his teammates as the count is 1-1 here. We'll take a look at the Kettleers defensively, how they line up. From left field to right field, Brandon Compton, Nathan Hall, Max Ballou. As the next pitch from Ianson misses too far and tight, the count is 2-1. From third to first, it's Nolan Naraki, Tyler Cerny, Jaron Advincula, and Tanner Thatch. And behind the plate is Brooks Bryan catching Anthony Ianson. As this one's hitting the right field, getting underneath it is Max Ballou, who puts it away for out number 1 here in the top of the first.
Well, not a great start for Ianson, but it's just one pitch and one mistake that Overn took advantage of. So still a chance for him to rebound, and pretty promising right there to get a weaker contact out and a quick one at that to hopefully settle in.
Now it's Ike Irish who foul tips the first one for strike number 1. Irish, so far this summer, 6 hits and 27 at-bats, hitting .222, has 3 RBIs. As Ianson comes set, deals high. 94 on the gun there from the righty. This past season at Auburn for Irish, hit .319, hit 14 home runs, 59 RBIs as he fouls this one straight back into the netting behind home plate, and the count now moves to 0-2.
You're good. Ready, center, take center. Can you get me Ianson on third? Ready, third. Take third.
Ianson, a rising junior,
Take center.
as Irish stays alive here, foul tips it straight back into the fence. This past year, finished 7th in the Big West with a .307 ERA. 85 strikeouts, that led the team, and just walked 24 hitters. Ianson comes set, line straight back at him, looks at his glove, and finds the ball in it. So allowed out number 2, and a really nice play defensively from Ianson.
Those are 2 major quick outs there from Anthony Ianson. If that one gets through, likely the second hit of the day for Chatham and an opportunity for them to keep things rolling. But nice job by Ianson to glove it and do things himself, as that is a major 2 quick outs after giving up the leadoff bomb.
Now this brings up the dangerous John Bay, who watches the first pitch breaking ball clip the inside corner. Bay so far this summer hitting .353, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. As Ianson working quickly comes set on the 1-0 pitch, fouled straight back. As Bay quickly down on the count 0-2 here. So after surrendering the leadoff home run, Ianson really working with pace.
Yeah, I think he does that pretty much regularly, and now a chance to end the inning. Not trying to waste too much time out there. Of course, not the start that you're looking for, but of course it's all about how you respond, and at the end of the day, it is only just 1 run on 1 hit, so a lot of game left.
This one hit on the ground toward the shortstop. Cerny fields cleanly, throws in time to nab John Bay for out number 3, but not before Chatham gets on the board first with a leadoff bomb from Austin Overn. We will send it to a break here in Lowell Park with Chatham leading 1-0 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. When the unexpected happens, make sure you...
Fans were continuing to file into Lowell Park as Austin Overn got Chatham on the board with a solo home run to lead things off. In the top of the first, now we head to the bottom half of the inning with Kyson Witherspoon taking his last warm-up pitches and facing a lineup that leads things off with the right fielder Max Ballou on deck, Nolan Araki, and batting third Devin Taylor. So a potent 1-2-3 at the top of this Kettleers lineup, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. These are guys in the last few games that they've been able to get hits in each of them. Nolan Araki, a phenomenal start to his Kettleers career in these first 3 games, has hits in each of them and making a big difference in last night's game as well by scoring the first run of that game. It's a really stacked top of the lineup, but I think this is a lineup that is stacked from 1 to 9, and hopefully they are able to fire on all cylinders today like they have been amidst this 3-game winning streak.
So Max Ballou digging in to lead things off here in the bottom of the first as Kyson Witherspoon gets set. Witherspoon played this past season at Oklahoma. His first pitch, fastball, misses low, 96 on the gun to begin the at-bat against Ballou.
Yeah, flamethrower at that. First one already with a 1-run cushion thanks to the solo shot, but 96 the first one out.
The 1-0 blows it right past him, 96 again to Ballou as he waves through it to even the count at 1-1. This past season at Oklahoma, he was 8-2 with a 3.79 ERA. Check out 86 batters and 76 innings. Made 11 starts. Witherspoon takes a long look in, now comes set, delivers with the pitch clock reading 4 as Ballou takes another healthy cut there. Misses it as Witherspoon dials it up to 97 now.
Yeah, and that's a bit faster than we were expecting, I think, too. Said in the pregame show, 93 to 95. Clearly feeling it today.
The 1-2 from Witherspoon. This one hit foul down the third baseline. We'll take a look and set the Chatham defense here from playing in left field, Kyle Johnson. In center, Austin Overn. In right field, John Bay. At third base, Jet Johnson. At short, Kyle Lodise. At second, Jaden Davis. At first, Luke Cantwell. And behind the dish, Campbell Smithwick. Of course, Kyson Witherspoon out on the mound. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Ballou. Hit right toward the third baseman, Jet Johnson, who moves a couple of steps and gloves it for a loud out number 1.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do if you're Max Ballou. Get a couple of good hacks up there, get a few good looks against Kyson Witherspoon, and then a hard hit ball that could have easily gotten through for a base hit. They were playing him a bit to the pull side, and so that results in a first at-bat out and a first out of the inning for Witherspoon, but a promising AB for Ballou.
Now this brings up Nolan Araki, who looks at a first pitch strike from Witherspoon. Araki was held hitless last night but reached twice. Drew a walk and scored back in the first inning. He also reached on a fielder's choice. Hitting .333 so far through 3 games this summer in Cotuit as Witherspoon comes set, deals as Naraki hits this one in a left field, and he reaches with a 1-out single.
You know, Alex, I think one massive difference that we maybe even talked about during that slower start that the Kettleers had offensively is they've just been so much more aggressive at the plate. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, there a couple of swings from Max Ballou, violent hacks where he's really on the attack and aggressive. And Naraki right there, again, attacking the pitch that he liked and not being too shy at the plate. And a big reason for that is why the Kettleers have launch themselves into the top 3 in batting average in the league and have won 3 straight.
Witherspoon takes a look back at Naraki, who's in standing, and it's a really good point that you mentioned, and you saw it in last night's game. Cotuit with that aggressive approach, seen it with Blue and Naraki as Taylor looks at the first pitch that misses low for ball number 1. Very patient hitter is Taylor, and you saw that on display in last night's game in Brewster. Worked 3 walks, also hit a triple, was 1 for 2 in the game. It's the Kettleers' first triple of the 2024 campaign. As Naraki takes off, this one hit in the right field, a perfectly executed hit and run. As Naraki takes the turnaround second, he will head into third. So it's runners on the corners with 1 out in the inning after the single by Devin Taylor.
Yeah, and the Kets have a golden opportunity to knot this ball game at 1-1. And you mentioned it there, just a perfect hit and run as Naraki was going, a guy who stole 18 bags last summer for the Sharks. So if you're Chatham, got to be cognizant of that and pay some attention to the runner on base. And so that time, a perfectly placed single by Devin Taylor. Couldn't have drew it up any better than that. And now a chance for the red-hot Nathan Hall, who has an opportunity to tie up this ball game, maybe even put the Kets up 1 here in this bottom of the first.
Nathan Hall hitting .462 so far. As the first pitch breaking ball catches a strike zone from Witherspoon. So it's runners on the corners here. Cotuit trails 1-0 after the solo home run from Austin Overn. That led off the ball game as Witherspoon with a pickoff move. That gets away from the first baseman, Cantwell. Coming in to score is Nolan Naraki. Taylor takes the turnaround second. The throw to third is cut off as Taylor slides in head first. So the game is even at 1 apiece after the throwing miscue from Kyson Witherspoon.
And there you go. We talked about it in the pregame show and have talked about it these past few games, Alex. The Kettleers has done a great job of capitalizing on the mistakes of these other teams. And that never happens if you're unable to get the runners on base and are unable to get those singles that Mike Roberts has been talking about. So just a good job offensively to put runners on base and then make the other team make a mistake. And just like that, this game is knotted up at 1-1.
So Taylor stands just 90 feet away as Witherspoon misses once again on the breaking ball outside. So a big spot for Hull here. He can give the Kettleers the lead with 1 swing. So Witherspoon gets charged an error on the pickoff attempt to first base as Hall takes a big cut out of the 96-mile-an-hour fastball as he's down on the count 1-2.
Right, it's easy to say it now with the runner just 90 feet away, and they just basically gifted them a run, did Chatham, but you still got to step up there and try to get a piece of that 96-mile-an-hour heat from Witherspoon.
Witherspoon comes set and deals. Breaking ball got Hall looking. A massive strikeout from Kyson Witherspoon there. That brings up Brandon Compton with 2 outs in the inning.
Perfectly placed pitch there from Witherspoon. Really tough to keep your eyes on a pitch that is about 10 to 12 miles an hour slower than the fastball and moving about 12 more inches horizontally. So that time you just saw a perfectly placed pitch by Witherspoon and a much-needed K for him, and now there's 2 gone.
Taylor dances off third. Witherspoon comes home with it. Gets Compton a wave through a changeup on the first pitch of the at-bat. Compton did not play in last night's game against Brewster. Got the night off, but we've seen his power swing really come alive over the last few games. He's hit a pair of home runs. Now Witherspoon comes set and deals. Compton swings away and fouls it down the third base line. Both grandstands filled here at Lowell Park. As fans still continuing to show up at the ballpark. Lawn chairs down the left field line. A couple of fans down the right field line. As Compton's down on the count 0-2 here with Taylor standing just 90 feet away. Taylor breaks for home, now stops as Compton hits this one to left field. Going back is the left fielder, Kyle Johnson, who makes the catch for out number 3, but not before Cotuit evens the score at 1 apiece. So Cotuit scores a run on 2 hits, 1 error as they leave Devin Taylor on third base. We head to the top of the second here on the Cats Digital Network.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
When your assets are insured appropriately, the agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. When the unexpected happens, make sure you...
Here in the top of the second, score is even at 1 apiece as Kyle Lodice digs in for his first at-bat against Anthony Ianson. And Ianson starts out the at-bat with a first pitch strike. Working quickly here as the 0-1 misses high, even in the count at 1-1.
Yeah, Ianson working really quickly. Has found his rhythm out there on the mound and seemingly has tapped into some of his stuff. First time we've seen that 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball thrown down in the dirt to Lodice.
Lodice this summer hitting .263. Looks at the 92-mile-an-hour fastball that misses low. So he's up in the count 3-1. .263 average. He's played in 7 games. Does have a home run. As he pops this one foul. As the catcher Brooks Bryan gave it a look, but that hits the stands. The count runs full here with no outs in the inning.
I'll just fall on race center. Take center.
Lodice coming off of a season at Augusta where he hit .316, played in just 23 games, but drove in 19 runs as he hits this one into the right center field gap. That gets down for a single. Lodice thought about stretching it for 2, but the ball is quickly relayed in, so he retreats back to the bag. So it's a leadoff single for Kyle Lodice. That brings up the first baseman, Luke Cantwell.
Yeah, he wisely goes back to first. Nobody gone in the inning, and the first base hit of the day for Chatham. Of course, had that home run, but now an opportunity for them to work with a runner on base. Ianson going to have to settle things down again and work his way back into this inning to retake control.
It's the powerful left-handed hitting first baseman Luke Cantwell as Ianson's fastball runs too far in sight for ball number 1. Cantwell this summer, .267 average through 7 games, 4 for 15. As the 1-0 pitch misses away, as Cantwell now in the driver's seat up 2-0. Cantwell started all 55 games at Pitt after transferring from Fairleigh Dickinson. Hit .333 with the Panthers. Pretty breaking ball there from Ianson. Gets Cantwell to look at it. Now the count is 2-1.
Yeah, right in the back door, dotted on the outer corner. Something that might get overlooked in that play there is the frame job by Brooks Bryan to keep it right there on the outer edge. Maybe tuck it back in just a hair. Didn't have to do much with that pitch as that one dotted the lower part of the zone, and now Ianson is in control here at 2-2.
So after falling behind 2-0, Ianson evens the count at 2-2 with Lodice leading off first. He comes home, fouled straight back by Cantwell. That hits the parking lot right where a couple of cars are.
Some kids playing defense, though.
They were ready for it.
Yeah.
A couple of kids with gloves out there trying to protect the cars. We'll do the 2-2 pitch once more. Ianson comes home. Cantwell hits this one on the ground toward Naraki, goes to second for 1. Advincula's throw to first. Not in time as Cantwell legs it out. So he reaches as Lodice cut down for the first out of the inning, and now that brings up Kyle Johnson.
Yeah, tough play there by Advincula to make at second, who's making the transfer and receiving that ball from third. A lot different from when you're receiving the ball on an underhand toss from the shortstop. It's a bit easier to judge that one and see it into your glove. Has to receive it from Naraki to make sure you get that second out, or that first out, the lead runner at second. But a bit choppy with the transfer, and he's unable to turn two. We've seen that a few times so far this year from Advincula at second. Just something that he clearly is probably working on with Mike Roberts, and an opportunity to improve upon this summer as he goes into his sophomore season at Cal.
The 0-1 to Johnson. Heinsohn off the plate, evening the count at, attack a strike. 0-2.
Wow.
Generous strike call there.
Could have been a little outside, but more good framing from Brooks Bryan. Can't speak enough about how much a good framing catcher can do for you. And now another gift right there. Looked a little bit upstairs at 93.
So the 0-1 pitch was originally called the ball. The scoreboard just a bit off. So now the count is 1-2 with one out in the inning. Cantwell leads off first. Heinsohn, the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, got him swinging. The first strikeout of the day for Anthony Heinsohn as Kyle Johnson set down for the second out of the inning.
Got to really appreciate the way that Heinsohn was working against Johnson there. Every pitch on the outer half of the plate goes breaking ball, fastball, then back to the breaking ball to get him in 4 pitches. Great inning worked here by Heinsohn despite allowing that leadoff single, and now just an out away, and Campbell Smithwick stands in the way of that.
Smithwick squares around a bunt and misses the bunt attempt. Tried to catch the Kettleers defense sleeping as Naraki was playing well on the dirt over there at the hot corner. Now Naraki still playing back, not expecting a bunt here with 2 outs in the inning. Now he moves up on the grass. The 0-1 breaking ball misses too far low and in tight, evening the count at 1-1. Smithwick so far this summer played in 4 games, 5 for 10. Does have 2 RBIs and is coming off of a year at Ole Miss where he hit .253. Heinsohn checks the runner, now comes home. The 1-1 that's flared into center field. That'll get down for a 2-out single for Smithwick. So Chatham has runners on first and second. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Jet Johnston.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting there by Smithwick. Gets it in off his hands, but fights it off into center field and extends this inning to the 9-man in the order, Jet Johnston. Also important to note, the runner on second, Luke Cantwell, does have some speed. 10 stolen bases last summer, playing for Farley Dickinson, summer ball in 2023, and also playing for Vermont in the NECBL. So some speed at second, and an opportunity here with 2 gone for Chatham to take the lead again.
The first pitch is in there for strike number 1, 91 on the gun from Heinsohn. Cantwell leads off second, Smithwick off first as Heinsohn going to get back into the dugout and keep this game knotted up at 1 apiece. No one holding on Cantwell at second as Johnston takes a big cut out of the off-speed pitch from Heinsohn. So now the count runs to 0-2. Johnston just 1 at-bat so far this summer, struck out in the lone AB. Played in 13 games at Texas A&M where he hit .188. Just 3 for 16. The 0-2 from Heinsohn, low in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Bryan. As the ball ricochets right in front of him, the runners will stay put.
Great block by Bryan. Seen a lot of balls get away from these Cotuit catchers and on the other side too and their opponents. So a lot of pass balls and wild pitches from pretty much everybody in the Cape Cod Baseball League. But nice to see for the Kets to have a guy being a good backstop today. And Brooks Bryan so far has done just that.
Heinsohn checks the runners, now comes home. This pitch low in the dirt once again. Cantwell will move up as both runners move into scoring position there. So that off-speed pitch just got away from Heinsohn. So now the count is 2-2 with runners on second and third, still 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, and a nice gesture there from the home plate umpire, Jeff Merzell, giving Brooks Bryan an extra second, who Seemingly got a little bit of dirt in his eye, it looks like, and maybe took one high off of his chest there on the bounce. So still an opportunity here for Chatham with runners in scoring position. Can't let that one get too far away from you if you're Brooks Bryant. So nice job just to get a piece of it. But just one strike away is Ianson from leaving these runners in scoring position.
Ianson comes set. Now deals the 2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Anthony Ianson strands runners on second and third with his second strikeout of the inning and second of the day. As Chatham goes scoreless here in the top of the second on 2 hits, 2 runners left on base as we head to the bottom half of the inning with the score even at 1 apiece here in Cotuit.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399. Nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. Your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured.
Runners on at second and third as we head to the bottom of the second with Chatham and Cotuit tied up at 1 apiece. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Adele Huffman as Tyler Cerny digging in, hitting 6th today in Mike Roberts' lineup. Cerny last night, 1 for 3. Hit a single to begin his night. Also swiped a bag.
Yeah, up to 278 on the summer, following up a great year where he hit 315 at Indiana. And has played a really strong shortstop for the Kettleers as he represents one of the only true shortstop in this roster right now.
Witherspoon comes set, deals his first pitch to Cerny, fouls straight back. Witherspoon continuing to pump heat out on the bump, 96 once again from the flamethrower from Oklahoma. This past season with the Sooners, in the game against West Virginia, he went 7 2/3, allowed just 1 hit and 1 run, and struck out 11 as he elevates with a fastball here as Cerny expands his zone and now is quickly down on the count 0-2. But Witherspoon had a couple of 1-hit performances this past year. Also 1-hit Oral Roberts in 6 innings where he struck out 9. As the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, the check down to first base. Cerny goes around as Witherspoon punches out Cerny for the first time today, his 2nd strikeout of the day. Now that brings up the catcher, Brooks Bryant.
You know, it's been a bit of a frustrating couple games for Tyler Cerny, even though he's been able to get a few base hits, has fallen victim of a couple plays just like that where he thinks about swinging, maybe has some second thoughts, and ends up going around for his 3rd looking K in his last 3 games, but has still done a great job of continuing to put in good ABs.
Swinging at the first pitch is Brooks Bryant, who grounds it to Jaden Davis at second. His throw in time to nab the catcher. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Witherspoon, and Cotuit quickly with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
Like the aggressiveness, too, again from Brooks Bryant, who hasn't been in the lineup, so trying to reinsert himself and make a difference. So just rolls that one over perfectly towards Jaden Davis, but solid contact, and quickly 2 gone for Witherspoon, who settled in nicely to this 2nd inning.
Now it's the first baseman, Tanner Thatch, digging in. Thatch 1 for 4 last night and takes a healthy cut out of the off-speed pitch from Witherspoon. Thatch hitting 158 so far this summer. Looking to put more consistent at-bats together. Witherspoon comes set, kicks and deals his 0-1. That one misses low in the dirt. Count is even at 1-1. Thatch does have a lot of power, though. This season at UNC Wilmington, 27 home runs. It's a large number, Joe. That ranked in the top 10 of all of college baseball. So a dangerous hitter at the bottom of this Cotuit order as Thatch just chops this one foul. Goes right to Jaron Advincula in the on-deck circle. But Thatch is now down 1-2.
Yeah, he was once in the hunt for being in the top 5, maybe even headlining that list at 1. But as these guys who are continuing to play in Omaha continue to mash baseballs, Christian Moore being one of them. Just on an unbelievable campaign for those guys, up to above 30 homers. A lot of guys playing in Omaha right now. Obviously a lot more games that they've been able to play, but still got to appreciate the amount of bombs that these guys have been able to hit. Of course with the metal bats, but still impressive.
Witherspoon's 1-2 pitch missed as he stumbled off the mound. Saw that a few games ago with Cam Hill, Cotuit starter, but Thatch chops this one on the ground toward the third baseman Johnson. His throw low, pulled up the first baseman Luke Cantwell off the bag. Chatham can't believe it, but Tanner Thatch legs out the single, the infield hit rather. Now we'll get a discussion with the umpires here. Luke Cantwell went into the stretch. The first base umpire Joe Carrico said his back foot was pulled off the bag on the low throw from Johnston.
I mean, tough to tell if you're able to go back and reverse that call. Nice hustle up the first base line by Tanner Thatch, and unless two of these umpires can overrule Mike Hinojosa's call, then this likely will stand as the third hit of the day for the Kettleers. Been able to put base runners on, and that call will be reversed as Hinojosa is overruled. So the Kettleers' hit total will stay at 2, and the score will stay at 1-1. Nice gesture there by Witherspoon, who's walking back to the Chatham dugout. Gives Tanner Thatch a fist bump, and we move on to the third inning.
So Kyson Witherspoon works a 1-2-3 bottom of the second as the score still remains 1-1 here at Lowell Park, and we'll send it down to our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who has more on last night's 6-1 victory in Brewster.
Thanks, Alex and Joe. The Kettleers capitalizing on the Brewster's Whitecaps' mistakes last night, leading to a 6-1 victory for the Kettleers. Especially, we saw it in that second inning when Grant Jay's ball was dropped, leading in 2 runs for the Kets, and then also with some stolen bases and Devin Taylor's walks leading in runs. And we can't wait to see what they do tonight. Already in the first inning, we saw Nolan Naraki score off that error. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table today, Joe and Alex.
And we've seen Cotuit do a really nice job of capitalizing on errors like you mentioned, Adele. So thanks for that excellent report. And saw it even in this game like you had mentioned where Cotuit gets runners on base due to the singles from Nolan Naraki and Devin Taylor and just the throwing miscue from Kyson Witherspoon. And that's what good teams do. They capitalize on teams' mistakes. And Cotuit doing that here in the early parts of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And more errors today, or 1 error so far on the board for Chatham, and that's the reason that the Kettleers' 1 run has come around to score. So you like to see that when teams are able to get at the Kettleers for capitalizing on their mistakes. Clearly doesn't feel good, so it's nice to give teams a taste of their own medicine and continue to capitalize on the mistakes by other teams. And for the Kettleers, they played solid defense as well and been able to narrow down on those mistakes and play solid fielding to not give too many teams too many opportunities the way that they have been giving Cotuit.
We head back to the top of the Chatham order as Austin Overn, who led off this ball game with a first pitch home run, takes the opening pitch from Anthony Ianson for strike number 1. And now we're joined by one of our writers, Connor Smith. And Connor, you wrote an excellent story on Cotuit's starting left fielder today, Brandon Compton. about his recovery from Tommy John. So why don't you take us through what it was like sitting down with Brandon?
Yeah, so talking to Brandon, it was a really nice experience. Great guy, really humble person. Because he's really seen it all. He had the success and saw it be taken away from him, and then back to Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. But talking to him, he tore it in his high school baseball game, and during his senior year, actually had surgery 4 days after his high school graduation. And instead of doing what most kids do in their last summer before college, playing with their friends, training for sports, just talking to family, he was rehabbing for Tommy John. Missed the entire summer and the first year at Arizona State, and then didn't miss a beat when he came back. Was Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, clubbed 15 home runs. Just a great story.
You can only imagine what's going through a kid's head. As soon as you graduate high school, you have to undergo Tommy John surgery. As Ianson misses high, the count is even at 2-2. But going through Tommy John, such a tough surgery, and a surgery that we see a lot of pitchers go through, not as common with outfielders, but Compton going through adversity in his young baseball career, as this one chopped on the ground to the third baseman Rocky Fields cleanly. His throw low, but scooped up by the first baseman Tanner Thatch for out number 1 here in the top of the third.
But a great high school career for Brandon Compton, too. So to come off a senior year where he hit over 500, nearly 600, but to be sidelined with the injury, that really just must take you down. Did you talk to him a bit more about, the feeling after the surgery, and then kind of how it felt to get back into baseball for the first time in what would be the summer of 2023?
Yeah, talking to Brennan, he said he was crushed about what happened, was very, very upset about it, but he took it as an opportunity to get better. He said, at the point where he could go and start training after his surgery, he was in the batting cages, he was in the gym working on his whole body and his swing as a whole, just, getting his body right and getting in better baseball shape. And he said whenever he got back to the field, for Arizona State, he thinks that it helped him a lot, made him a better person, a better player.
Yeah, you mentioned that, how you said he really didn't miss a beat, and I think probably a big reason for that is the amount of training and work that he put in, even despite being injured, when nobody's watching. And I think that really speaks to the humbleness and kind of what you were talking about him as a person, and being able to work through an injury like that. You really need to be strong mentally and also physically.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one hit on the ground to the shortstop, Cerny. Throw is in time to nab Jaden Davis for out number 2. So 2 quick ground balls for Anthony Ianson. Has 2 quick outs here in the top of the third. We've seen Compton make a big impact so far here in Cotuit. You've seen his power stroke come alive. He's hit a couple of home runs and made some solid plays in the outfield as Ike Irish lays down a bunt that goes foul down the third baseline, trying to catch the Cotuit defense by surprise. But Compton's made a big impact in the middle of this Kettleer lineup. Flew out today, but how have you seen him develop so far this summer?
I don't really think it's much of a development thing. Just talking to him, I think it's more a mental aspect. Because talking to him after the Harwich game, he said that the fields are different than the college ball. The pitchers in college are good, but in the Cape League, you're facing the best of the best every day, just back to back. So that, with the wooden bats and the fields being like a major league field, he said that it took him a little bit to get used to the feeling of the Cape Cod League. And once he did, started working on his mental game, then he started to have a lot of success.
Irish hits this one into right field, reaches on a 2-out single. That'll bring up the right fielder, John Bay.
You talked a little bit about the mental game, and here on the Cape League, it kind of seems like he's battling for each and every pitch. Do you kind of see it that way personally from you kind of being a baseball fan?
Yeah, absolutely. Talking to him, that's one of the things that he worked on. He said, in the first 2 or 3 games, whenever he was struggling, started 0 for 9 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He said, he wasn't like fully locked in, just was taking a few pitches off, and he learned, I've got to be on every single pitch and just, work hard every single at bat, every pitch. And he said once he started just focusing in on the pitch here and making sure that he was getting off his best swings and getting off his best looks of the ball, that's when he started finding success.
Really aggressive guy at the plate. Seems like he takes a few healthy hacks every time he's up there.
Yeah, absolutely. He struck out, I believe, 54 times in college. So he started off that way this year within the Cape League, and then, like I said, once he started slowing down, just taking the at-bats by every pitch and just making sure he was getting his best swings off, he's not really struck out many times, if any. So I think for him to see that and learn that you need to be locked in for every pitch, every at-bat, every swing has helped his game a lot, and hopefully it'll take it to the next level.
Couple of ASU Sun Devils patrolling the outfield for the Cats. Brandon Compton, like we've talked about, Kia and Vu, and I feel like that definitely helps out the transition when you can share an outfield with a guy who you share an outfield with collegiately, as the count is 2-2 here against Bay. That's something that you and I have talked about, Joe, just players coming together at the college level and here in Cotuit.
Yeah, for sure. I think that definitely makes the transition a little easier.
The 2-2 got Bay fishing on the off-speed pitch, so Ianson gets 2 ground balls and the strikeout of John Bay here in the top of the third, with the score still even at 1 apiece. Stay tuned for more here on the Cats Digital Network.
1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. Since
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee. 9-1-2 due up for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the third. Alex Rocco joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Connor Smith. And still talking about Brandon Compton, hitting 5th today in the order. So if the Kettleers have a big inning, might have a chance to see Compton come up to bat. But we were talking about just an inning ago of guys who were playing together and playing together collegiately,
right,
now playing together here in Cotuit. And we've also seen Kia and Vu, Adele talked about it last night, become a little bit of a prankster. I'm not sure if you talked about it with Brandon, if he's involved in any of the pranks or his personality, if he's going to pull any of the pranks, but this is something that we're invested in up here in the broadcast booth.
Brandon's a very low-key guy. He's very, very calm, down to earth, just a chill dude. So, oh, wow, that's a great play.
What a play by the third baseman, Jet Johnston. Jaron Advincula hit it on a line, but Johnston, full extension, robs Advincula of what could have been extra bases for the first out of the inning.
That's a second line out over at third, the hot corner for a reason. Jet Johnston has played it beautifully today. And a great job on the infield to be really shifted in the right positions, and that time maybe shifted a little bit too far off the line, but still is able to snare that and rob Advincula for another hit to extend his hitting streak.
Now it's Max Ballou, who originally lined out to Jet Johnston at third. So he's 0 for 1 today. The first pitch from Witherspoon looked at for strike number 1. You were talking about Compton being more of a low-key guy.
Yes, sorry. I got, just mesmerized with that amazing play. But, Compton's a really low-key guy. He would not comment on that. It wouldn't shock me, but I don't think that he might give the ideas, but he does not carry them out. He's one of those middleman guys that, like I said, gives ideas, does not carry them out.
This is something that we have to stay updated on as the pranks come along. Vu's first prank was putting gum on the bottom of a cup and putting it on someone's head.
That's wild.
I'll ask this question to you because Joe asked it to me last night as the 0-2 pitch waved through for strike 3 against Max Ballou as Kyson Witherspoon continuing to dice up this Kettleer lineup, the third strikeout of the day. And now back to this question. What would you do if someone put a piece of gum on a cup and put it on your head?
I would do the thing. I'm not exactly sure like how you do it, but the thing like where you light like the back of someone's shoe on fire.
That's a good idea.
Is that a Tennessee thing? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
I've seen it several times in the majors. Like I don't know how they do it, but I've seen like them light a match and.
Rocky hits this one on the ground to the shortstop Kyle Lodis. His throw low, but scooped up in time by Luke Cantwell for out number 3. So back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Kyson Witherspoon as the game's still even at 1 here from Cotuit on the Cats Digital Network.
And I got just one more question before we let Connor go.
Okay.
Way too early record prediction for Alabama football this year.
10-2. Lost to Georgia and then lost to Tennessee or LSU.
Operating
bowl
on
game?
Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts,
Football. It's the DeBoer era. Let's go.
Definitely great stuff.
Landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Osterville. Beacon Gardens.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable. Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout.
Warm-up tosses here. We'll give you a quick recap of the game so far. Austin Overn, first pitch of the ball game, launched it into the right center field gap and over the wall for a leadoff solo home run, and Nolan Araki came around to score in the bottom half of that inning after a throwing miscue from the pitcher Kyson Witherspoon. But Devin Taylor, who also singled in that inning, was stranded on third. That's where we have it so far. 1-1 in the top of the fourth. The new arm for Mike Roberts' squad, James Ellwanger. Ellwanger's second appearance so far this summer, Joe.
Yeah, one appearance so far, and when an inning and two-thirds gave up 2 hits, 1 run, it was unearned. And so Ellwanger, a hard-throwing, tall right-handed reliever out of Dallas Baptist University, where he appeared in 8 games there this season, all of which were starts, pitching in just underneath 18 innings, allowed 12 runs, but struck out 23 batters to just 11 walks. So really great numbers for a guy who throws incredibly hard to not walk too many batters and put too many give up too many free bases. And another opportunity for him to have his second chance with the Kettleers, and the bullpen trying to eat up some innings here against the Anglers.
The first pitch to Lodis, 94 on the gun, but off the plate for ball number 1. Lodis today, 1 for 1, singled back in the second inning. But was cut down on base after the fielder's choice from Luke Cantwell, who stands in the on-deck circle, as Ellwanger evens the count at 1-1 with the fastball. He comes set, kicks and deals the 1-1 that catches the top of the strike zone, as Lodis now down on the count 1-2. Elwanger's next pitch misses. Count is even now at 2-2. Lodice has struggled so far this summer avoiding the punch-out, has struck out 8 times and through 7 games. And now it's 9 times here as he looks at the fastball on the outside corner from James Elwanger as Lodice set down on strikes for the first time today. Elwanger's first punch-out, 96 painted on the outside corner.
And 5th on the summer in those 1 2/3 innings. Now it's up to 2 innings pitched, 5 of which have been by way of the K. So 5 out of the 6 outs that Elwanger has recorded have all been by way of the K.
Now it's Luke Cantwell. Looks at the first pitch breaking ball. In there for strike number 1. Cantwell today 0 for 1, reached on a fielder's choice, but was stranded on second after Anthony Ianson worked in and out of trouble. The count is even at 1-1 after the high-rising fastball runs too far in tight on the lefty Cantwell. Cantwell's coming off of a year where he hit 10 home runs and drove in 44 runs at Pitt. So he's now up in the count 2-1 here. Elwanger peers out of his glove, now kicks and deals the 2-1. This one lined straight off the fence down the third base line, which brings the count to 2-2 with 1 out in the inning. Cantwell played 2 seasons at Fairleigh Dickinson. In his sophomore campaign, was named first team All-NEC, where he hit .331 with 14 home runs, 51 RBIs, lays off on the 2-2 pitch, and the count runs full. 28 extra base hits out of his 50 hits that season. As he hits this one on the ground to the first baseman, Tanner Thatch flips it to Elwanger covering. So one first baseman grounds out to the other first baseman, and Cantwell's out number 2 here in the top of the 4th. Now it's the left fielder Kyle Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1, struck out swinging. Was the first of 3 strikeouts for Anthony Ianson on his performance, and looks at the first pitch from Elwanger for strike number 1. Johnson attends Duke, saw him talking things with A.J. Gracia pregame. Also was joined by Chase Cruson, 3 members of the Duke Blue Devils squad, and all 3 had a big impact last season. Johnson hit .253 in 39 games, making 34 starts, as he's now up in the count 2-1 after Elwanger's pitch goes behind the catcher, Bryan. Johnson hits this one in the left field. Giving it a look is Compton. That one drops as Johnson takes a turnaround first. The throw to second is not in time as Johnson, with the head-first slide, is in safely with a 2-out double, and Chatham has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, really nice job by Johnson to tuck it in down the line. Was just 1 for 9 going into this game and has his 2nd hit of the summer, his first extra base hit of the summer, as he is now increasing that average. That was down around 100, coming off a pretty solid year at Duke, though, where he slugged .480, knocked 6 doubles, and now his first one of the summer comes right here in the 4th inning.
Out to catcher Campbell Smithwick as Johnson gives his elbow guard to the first base coach. Smithwick today 1 for 1 singled. He's really gotten off to a hot start this summer with Chatham, hitting .545 in just 6 games so far. Elwanger takes the long look in, gets the sign from his catcher Bryan. Now takes a look back at Johnson, who is getting held on by Cerny, who backs off. First pitch low in the dirt, blocked by Bryan. Johnson retreats back to the bag. Smithwick is coming off of his freshman campaign at Ole Miss, where he played in 27 games, started 23. Hit .253. Hit a home run, drove in 11 RBIs. Elwanger, a long look in. Now gets the sign that he likes, comes set. And deals the 1-0. Smithwick looks at it, that catches the zone for strike number 1. And Elwanger got the first 2 guys out quickly in this inning, but gave up the 2-bagger to Johnson. 5 hits for Chatham so far, just 2 for the Kettleers. Score remains tied at 1. The 1-1 to Smithwick. Lined hard, foul down the third base line. Into the crowd as those same kids, they're getting their exercise in today. Running from the parking lot all the way down toward the trees to retrieve that foul ball.
They're surrounding this ballpark in their posts. Everybody trying to get a foul ball. Seems like there are a greater number of kids than there are foul balls, so definitely a competitive day out there.
Might have to catch up with them, see what the tally is as the 1-2 pitch. Boots off the glove of Brian, moving up to third is Johnson. So Chatham has a runner just 90 feet away with the count 2-2. 2 outs remain in the inning. So Elwanger looking to keep this game tied at 1. And send it to the bottom half of the inning. The Cats have 3, 4, 5 due up in their lineup. He comes set, kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. This one chopped foul right toward the on-deck circle on the first base side. And a good battle brewing between Smithwick and Elwanger here. The 6th pitch upcoming.
Glad you pointed that out. With the runner just 90 feet away, Brooks Bryan's job got a lot more intense, trying to keep all these pitches in front, but Elwanger just focusing on the batter. He's 1 strike away.
Elwanger's 2-2 pitch. Inside corner. Got him looking. James Elwanger gets his 2nd strikeout of the inning, and a big one at that, stranding Kyle Johnson just 90 feet away. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base as we head to the bottom of the 4th with Chatham and Cotuit even at 1 here on the Cats Digital Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Kyson Witherspoon back out on the mound for his 4th inning of work, getting set to face the heart of this Kettleer lineup. 3, 4, 5 due up as Devin Taylor about to dig in as Witherspoon has retired 8 straight. Taylor was the last Kettleer to reach base. He singled in the bottom of the 1st and was stranded on 3rd. Reached 3rd after the miscue from Witherspoon on the pickoff move as Nolan Naraki came in to score on that play. It was actually a pickoff move trying to get Taylor leaning. But Naraki, who was standing on 3rd, easily came home to score. So 1-1 still is your score here from Lowell Park. Taylor had an extremely productive last night, reached 4 times, drawing 3 walks, also tripled. Scored 2 runs in the contest as well. So Witherspoon just about to get set and offer the first pitch to the designated hitter, Taylor, and the pitch misses off the plate for ball number 1. Taylor hitting .385 this summer. He's really put together a quality string of games here in Cotuit. The 1-0, big cut from Taylor as the count is even at 1-1. Witherspoon just continues to pour in strikes, 32 pitches, 26 strikes.
Yeah, continues to pound the zone, and when you have a guy who throws in the mid to upper 90s and can hit the box at a rate that he can, I mean, that's pretty incredible, and a big reason as to why he found his place at Oklahoma this past season after transferring from Northwest Florida State College, a JUCO.
Witherspoon deals the 2-1, misses for ball 3, and Taylor's in the driver's seat in his second at-bat today. Witherspoon had a lot of success at his JUCO, went 6-2, had a 3.10 ERA as Taylor hits this one into right field. Coming on is the right fielder, John Bay, who makes the grab on the run for out number 1 in the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, now 9 straight batters retired by Witherspoon, and Devin Taylor falls back to 1 for 2 on the day. Nathan Hall with a strikeout looking his last time up has swung an incredibly hot bat to start off his Ketts career, or I guess to continue his Ketts career. After playing in the scrimmage against the Martha's Vineyard Sharks earlier this season, where he powered out a home run. That was his only hit going into his initial regular season game at Harwich earlier this week, where he picked up right where he left off with another home run. That one was a 3-run bomb. And we haven't been able to see him go down in back-to-back at-bats too many times. So after getting out his first time up in the first, an opportunity to right his wrong.
Came into the game hitting well over 500. Now the average down to 429, which is just a crazy statement. But Hall has gotten off to such a hot start here. The count is even at 1-1. Looking to reach for the first time today. Witherspoon comes set, kicks and deals the 1-1, chopped up the middle, deflects off the glove of Witherspoon. The throw is in time. They got him. Quick play by the second baseman, Jaden Davis, to react off the ball, hit off of the pitcher, Witherspoon's glove, as Hall's retired for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, an unconventional 1-4-3 putout. Nathan Hall seemingly beat that one up the first base line. Could see the reaction from the first base coach, Will Thompson, not happy with the call from Mike Hinojosa, who made it. And back-to-back innings, or I guess back in the second inning, the Kettleers had an opportunity to beat out a throw up the first base line that was actually overturned, and it was Tanner Thatch. So a couple of unfortunate scenarios there for the Ketts as they're unable once again to get that call. And 2 quick outs in the inning for Witherspoon. That's 10 up, 10 down after the first inning.
First pitch to Compton, read 98 on the gun from Witherspoon. The 0-1 lined into right field. That gets down. Compton reaches for the first time today. He's 1 for 2 with a 2-out single.
You know, even though he pulls that and is ahead of it, really nice job by Compton to keep his hands inside, slow him down, as Connor was talking about a few innings ago. He was able to talk with Compton about his transition and recovery process from Tommy John surgery. And we've just seen him really tear the cover off the ball since he's been here. It's as if he didn't take off his freshman season at Arizona State, but clearly is more than back in his rhythm after a summer in the Northwoods League last year, playing for the Sun Devils this season, and now a great summer so far for the Ketts.
First pitch swinging is Tyler Cerny. Cerny 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging. One of 3 strikeouts today for Kyson Witherspoon.
Yeah, you're good. I'm not using first.
The 0-1, breaking ball, that catches the outside corner, and Cerny quickly down 0-2 in his second at-bat of the day. Compton, he stands on first, now takes his lead. Witherspoon with a pickoff move, Compton back in safely after the head first dive. So Witherspoon commit an error on a similar play like that. Pickoff move trying to catch Devin Taylor sleeping at first base and spiked it past the first baseman Luke Cantwell. But here's the 0-2 to Cerny. Misses as Witherspoon takes a tumble off the mound, now collects his footing, and this is something that we've seen over the last few games here at Lowell Park. Pitchers being uncomfortable out on the bump.
Yeah, that landing zone, the extension plant foot that these pitchers at Lowell Park have been kind of losing their footing. We saw it with Cameron Hill last game against Hyannis, where he was struggling to find the zone with some of his pitches because he was slipping with that plant foot. We saw Mark Hindia as well lose a batter on 4 pitches as he just couldn't find his footing. So something going on possibly with the mound at Lowell Park, but these pitchers are working through it and working well, clearly, as Witherspoon, after or going into that at bat against Compton, had retired 10 straight Kettleers batters.
2-2 is the count after Witherspoon's last pitch miss low in the dirt was kept in front by Smithwick. Compton takes his lead off first. Witherspoon comes set, now deals. This one spikes off the glove of Smithwick, goes all the way down the third base line toward the Kettleers dugout as Compton moves easily into scoring position here as the count runs full with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, kind of an overcorrection there from the catcher Smithwick. Tried to backhand it and then maybe carried his glove a bit too far into that left-hand batter's box, so it ricochets the other way on a funky short hop. And so Compton able to take advantage of that and reach second. And an opportunity here with Tyler Cerny at the plate to get a 2-out RBI. Count full, though.
So Witherspoon looking to work out of trouble here in the bottom of the fourth. Takes a look back at Compton, now comes home with the payoff pitch. Cerny pops this one up in the air. Getting underneath it is the center fielder, Austin Overn, who makes the running grab to retire Cerny for the 3rd out of the inning. So Kyson Witherspoon works in and out of trouble after giving up the 2-out hit to Brandon Compton and allowing him to reach second base after the wild pitch. But we'll send it down to our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who has more.
All right, fans. For Fan Appreciation Night, we're here with one of our most important fans, Terry Morgan. Terry, what about this league is so special to you?
Well, this league is the best players in the country who want to be here and are dying to get here, and they're trying to show what they can do and prove to themselves they can do it.
And I know that you have been a host dad for many years for the Kets, so what has been the most special moment for you during the process?
The best thing about is learning about them other than baseball and learning what makes them. And I host some of the greatest players, so some of the greatest people I could have, and even have been to a wedding out in Minnesota for one of them.
And I know you heard a story tonight about last year. A little bit about that.
My Caleb Lomavita has stayed with me the last 2 years, and he is a part of the team that is running a clinic for youngsters in Hawaii, and they have 150 young people doing it, and they filled it up in an hour.
That is amazing, Terry. And you were a big part of this field renovation. What do you think?
It's fabulous. It is fabulous to see. During the winter, I was out here when the fences were gone, when there was brown out there, and now seeing the whole field, it's wonderful.
Well, thank you for being here, Terry.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Adele, and as you mentioned, Fan Appreciation Night here at Lowell Park, and definitely appreciate all of Cotuit faithful tuning in to this contest between the Kettleers and the Anglers. The score still remains at 1. No scoring changes since that first inning. Now it's 9-1-2 for the Chatham order. facing James Ellwanger, who's out for his second inning of work. Ellwanger allowed a 2-out double to Kyle Johnson, but he was stranded at third and starts off the at-bat against Johnston with a breaking ball that misses off the plate. This is Johnston's first time facing Ellwanger today. Struck out swinging against Anthony Ianson, one of his 3 punch-outs on the afternoon. Johnston quickly up in the count, 2-0 here. This one rocketed, gloved by Tanner Thatch, so allowed out number 1 as Johnston smoked it, but right to Thatch at first base.
Yeah, Thatch has played a really strong first base these past few games, mainly last night at Brewster. Had to dig out a couple of ground ball plays that likely would have been infield singles for a lot of guys in this league and a lot of guys in college baseball, but with Tanner Thatch at first with the long extension, the long reach, and the big glove over there, he's able to make a lot of plays and get plenty of outs that I'm sure his pitchers are very appreciative of.
Now we head back to the top of this Chatham lineup. Austin Overn, he's 1 for 2 today. The leadoff home run on the first pitch of the ball game. So he's now up in the count, 2-0 here. That was Overn's second home run of the summer, his second leadoff home run. Flashed the power at USC this year, hit 8 bombs in 59 games where he started every game and now hits this one into center field. Getting underneath it is Nathan Hall, and 2 quick outs for James Ellwanger to start the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want from James Ellwanger after he was able to get 2 quick outs to start off the 4th inning. Then he gave up the double by Kyle Johnson. So can't get too complacent here. Want to really focus up to try to get out of this inning and work the first 3 up, 3 down frame by Kettleers pitching today.
Taking the first pitch for strike number 1 is Jaden Davis. Davis 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Ellwanger deals the 0-1. Missed outside, went with a fastball at 94 miles an hour. Davis this past season at Vanderbilt in 46 games hit .315 and drove in 36 runs as he takes a big cut out of the off-speed pitch from Ellwanger and fouls it straight back. Now the count runs to 1-2. Ellwanger looking to work the 1-2-3 inning here as he kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. That one misses high and deflects off the glove of Bryant. Davis transferred from Samford to Vanderbilt, and the head coach Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt said he saw Jaden play since he was 15 as he goes down looking on the fastball from James Ellwanger. So the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Ellwanger as he works a 1-2-3 top of the 5th. And we head to the bottom half of the inning with Chatham and Cotuit tied up at 1. And when we come back, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take over on play-by-play. Stay tuned for more here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
This is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville. Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Hats and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis. Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Back from Lowell Park for the bottom of the fifth inning. Joe Pratt, Alex Rocco are with you. Kettleers tied up with Chatham at 1-1. Kyson Witherspoon is back on the mound. Has pitched very well through these first 4 innings against the Kets and starts off Brooks Bryan with a strike bordering the top of the zone, 0-1. So Bryan, a ground out to second his last time up in the second inning. And since his last at-bat, Witherspoon has retired 11 of 12 batters as the next pitch is outside and it's 1-1. 96 on the gun still from Witherspoon. So still continuing his high-octane stuff, even pitching into his 5th inning of work here. Has allowed 3 hits. The Kets have scored 1 run on him.
I see it. Yeah, this looks good.
Coming off a season at Oklahoma after transferring from Northwest Florida State College. 17 games there, just under 70 innings, and 72 strikeouts with an ERA just above 3. Bryan's 2-1. He watches it go right in front of him on the breaking ball at 90 miles an hour, and the count evens up at 2-2. And pretty cool for Witherspoon to join his twin brother on the Oklahoma baseball roster this past season. Malachi also on the team.
If it's a strikeout, go to mound with third.
The 2-2. Bryan fans and misses at strike 3. Another strikeout on the day for Kyson Witherspoon, his 4th. And Brooks Bryan falls back to 0 for 2.
Witherspoon continuing to pump the velocity here as this game progresses. That last fastball, 96 at the top of the zone. Nearly an impossible pitch to hit if you're Brooks Bryan. And really seeing the control from Witherspoon here. And that fastball, just a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it really is. He's gone back to it time and time again, has been mostly with that fastball today, and now Tanner Thatch gets underneath the first pitch he sees, skies it just beyond the infield. Jaden Davis is called off, and John Bay handles out number 2.
Thatch aggressive swing at the first pitch from Witherspoon. Popped it up in the air for, seemed like an eternity, but when it came down, just right into the glove, and Thatch just getting underneath it. But those are the swings that you like to see. You've seen Cotuit go with that aggressive approach, but Thatch just getting well under it.
Yeah, another guy who hit a hard ball his last time up in the 3rd inning. Jaron Advincula lined out to the opposite way at third, right at the third baseman, Jet Johnston, who's played a really solid position there at the hot corner today. And Jaron Advincula falls back to 0-1 after taking a 97-mile-an-hour fastball inside. So we mentioned earlier Advincula coming off of his freshman season at Cal. The 0-1 pitch, he rolls it over towards second. Up with it, throwing is Davis, a little bit high, but received by Cantwell for out number 3. So a really quick 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 5th inning, worked by Kyson Witherspoon and the Anglers. So we send it to the top of the 6th. Score still knotted up at 1s on the Kets Digital Network.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today. Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Back from Lowell Park for the top of the 6th inning. Anglers and Kettleers knotted up at 1-1. Joe Pratt, Alex Rocco, and now Shane Patagna joins us in the booth. So good to have you, Shane.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Solid game so far. Could have foreseen this, actually. Two really strong pitchers going into this game, but now James Ellwanger taking over for Anthony Ianson, who went 3 innings pitched. Shane, what have you liked from Ellwanger so far?
Well, I think the thing that sticks out is the velocity.
Yeah.
It's something that the coaching staff was really looking forward to today. They knew he was going to be the first out of the bullpen no matter what, and he's answered the call, especially against the Chatham starter as well. Mid-90s from both of those guys.
2 quick strikes to start off Irish here, and now he flares one foul to stay alive at 0-2. Yeah, Ellwanger really working well after Ianson had a really solid start. 3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, and really rebounded nicely after allowing a leadoff home run on the first pitch he threw in this ballgame. 0-2 pitch from Ellwanger is right down the outer corner, and it dots there for strike 3. Ike Irish goes down on strikes, falls back to 1 for 3, and it is the 4th strikeout of the day for James Ellwanger. So Shane joining us up here today to talk about a little bit about a pair of Clemson Tigers who made their way to this Kettleers roster, Nathan Hall, Nolan Naraki.
Yeah, those 2 guys, they've gone all the way back, even back to last summer in the Vineyard, teammates on the Martha's Vineyard Sharks. 2 years at Clemson together where they weren't even just teammates, roommates as well, and Nathan could call Nolan. They were best friends at school. But kind of a tale of 2 seasons for Nathan Hall and Nolan Naraki. Hall essentially serving as the 10th man in 2023 on that team, but saw his playing time dip severely. Meanwhile, Naraki redshirted his freshman year and got decent playing time this year, even getting a start in Game 2 of that Super Regional against Florida. But for Nathan Hall, I think what you can define his season as so far from Clemson and here has been patience. And Roberts, too, has commended him for that and what he's shown waiting for the opportunity he's had these last 3 games.
Bay swings and misses at strike 3 up and away. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 3rd in a row for James Ellwanger. Sets down the first 2 batters he sees in the top of the 6th, and that brings up Kyle Lodise. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, Shane, saying how it must feel to kind of be on that Clemson team and pretty much be told that we don't really need you, and you can go start playing summer ball as we go into the college baseball playoffs with you not on the roster.
Yeah, I think Nathan Hall was very mature about the entire situation and talking to him about it. Obviously, he wasn't pleased with how he played and maybe how the situation was handled, but he realized that it was the best move for his career, even though he's not around his teammates for the most important games of the season. And there were certainly moments, especially in that Game 2 of the Supers, like it must have been so difficult for him to see Cam Canarella tie the game with a 3-run shot in the 9th and make a Willie Mays-esque catch to save the game in the 10th, and you can't be around your boys. You've got to watch from the TV and text them afterwards, I guess.
Right.
That's about all you can do.
Yeah, I think it maybe is less about when the team is having success and more about maybe when they lose. You want to lose as a team. As Jaronad Vincula fields that one and delivers it to first for out number 3. Ellwanger works a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Shane Patagna will stick around with us with the Ketson Anglers tied at 1-1 on the Kettleers Digital Network. Nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. For over
Bottom of the 6th inning, Cotuit and Chatham tied up at 1-1. Fans trying to get into it here as they have been tied ever since the first inning of this ball game. They exchanged runs on the solo home run by Chatham to lead off this ball game. Austin over the right center field fence. And then it was a fielding error made by Kyson Witherspoon, the pitcher of Chatham. Threw it away at first base. That allowed Nolan Naraki to score from third. And since that first inning, there have been no runs scored. 5 hits for Chatham, 3 hits for the Kettleers. And now the top of the order for this Ketts lineup, and Max Ballou will lead things off against the new arm for the Anglers. Ballou is 0 for 2, a line out and a strikeout. Murphy deals a first pitch swing and a miss at 96 miles an hour. So we go from Kyson Witherspoon, mid to high 90s. Hayden Murphy, first pitch out of the pen, 96 with the fastball. 1-1 the count now to Ballou. So we're still joined by Kettleers writer Shane Patagna, talking about the relationship between Nolan Naraki, Nate Hall, and their time at Clemson this past season, and just their great relationship away from the field. As Ballou sends one foul into the parking lot, it's 1-2. And we were talking about that yesterday, Alex, about how these guys and seeing them start to kind of build chemistry off the field, and maybe that has kind of had an impact on their success on the diamond.
anytime you could play as a team together, and whether you're spending time together on off days, doing things before the game, and just any time you can be around your guys, it really builds chemistry.
Ballou goes down on strikes for the second time today, and Hayden Murphy starts off his afternoon with a swinging strikeout.
Hayden Murphy's a guy that in his first outing this year tossed 3 innings, did not allow a hit, also struck out 6, and you could see why. Just has that blazing fastball and made quick work of Ballou.
And here's Nolan Naraki. Single in the first inning. He came around to score the only run of the game for the Ketts, and he is 1 for 2. Murphy deals a breaking ball that he fans through, and Naraki is down 0-1.
So speaking of the chemistry that Naraki has with Hall, I think nothing gets closer than the relationship they have. Naraki said that as he was catching up with the...
Ooh, that hit him. So he'll be on first for the second time today.
Yeah, so now Devin Taylor up at bat. Nathan Hall moves on deck. But Naraki was saying that after that game 1 or game 2 of the Supers, no, it would have been game 1 on the Saturday, after Martha's Vineyard, when Nathan Hall hits the homer, and the Kettleers Instagram makes the Instagram post and the Twitter post saying that he hit a homer. It actually brought him to tears to see Nathan Hall have success away from Clemson while the season was still going on.
And against his former team, too. That ball gets away from the catcher Smithwick, and Naraki will move up 90 feet into scoring position. Another wild pitch on the day by these Chatham pitchers. First Witherspoon, and now the first one we see from Hayden Murphy. So a big opportunity here with one of the hottest bats in this Kettleers lineup. A 1-0 count, one gone, and now Naraki on second. So Taylor, a great eye at the plate. 3 walks worked in last night's game, as you mentioned, Alex, and then legged out a triple. First of the season for the Kettleers, and Kettleers became just the second Cape League team to notch a triple this season. Nice block there by Smithwick. Wareham with 3 triples so far on the year. Cotuit with 1 there in second place.
It was just the hustle of Taylor there. Could have been a double, but just saw him keep churning the legs and leg it out for the 3-bagger.
Taylor ahead 3-0, and Murphy gets over the top there at 81 for strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strikes to Devin Taylor, who is 1 for 2. So with Nate Hall on deck, this part of the order, that's done a lot of damage in this 3-game winning streak for the Kets, as Taylor will take strike 2, even though he thought that one was low and away. They'll have to do it all over again at 3-2. So Murphy has battled his way back into this count, and the payoff pitch. Taylor takes down low, but that's going to be a called strike 3. Mike Roberts letting Jeff Merzell hear it from the third base coaching box, and there are 2 gone with Nate Hall digging in.
Yeah, I spoke to Devin Taylor after the game yesterday, following 4 times, reaching safely, 3 walks and the triple, and he said that he is a patient hitter, and he learned that from school this year with everybody basically throwing around him, and showed it there. 3 borderline pitches that he probably thought was down and maybe even knew were down, but the calls don't go his way.
Nate Hall has a chance now, rolls it on the ground towards third in medium depth. Johnston delivers it to first, bounced in there, and in time. So the Anglers escape the bottom of the 6th inning, and the score remains at 1-1 as we go into the 7th frame. Kettleers put a runner in scoring position. They will leave him there. And now before we send things to the 7th frame, we will check in once again with our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who's just about ready for us in just a few moments. And now she's joined by a special guest down on the field. What do you have for us, Adele?
Hey guys, I'm here with Cruz, one of our bat boys for the Cotuit Kettleers. Cruz, do you get paid for this job, and if so, how much? $10 a game. Big bucks. All right, Cruz, what is your biggest responsibility as bat boy?
Really paying attention a lot.
And do you have a favorite part?
Getting the bats.
Getting the bats. That's a good part of it.
Broken bats.
Getting broken bats. And do you have a favorite MLB player or a favorite Ket?
Yeah. My favorite MLB player is Rafael Devers.
That's awesome. Thanks, Cruz, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thanks, Adele. Great to be joined by one of the bat boys of the Kettleers, and some great information there. Hey, that's a decent gig for the summer.
Absolutely. Get to be around some college all-stars and get to be around summer baseball. Always a good thing, and you learn so much from being a bat boy. Just so cool to see people and kids getting adjusted to the game of baseball at such a young age.
Yeah, it really is. And you made a funny face when he brought up his favorite MLB player. You being a Yankees fan, I know maybe not the best thing you wanted to hear.
See, I respect Rafael Devers, but as a Yankee fan, definitely not a player that I root for. But he's caused me a lot of pain, but certainly an excellent baseball player.
Can't argue with that. Seventh inning from Lowell Park. James Ellwanger is back on the bump. His first pitch is outside to Luke Cantwell. Reached in the second inning on a fielder's choice and then grounded out to first in the fourth. So he's 0 for 2 playing at first base today. The Kettleers were able to put a few runners on base in that sixth inning, or at least it was one runner on base. Nolan Naraki was hit by the pitch. Advanced to second on a wild pitch during Devin Taylor's at-bat. And the Kettleers were threatening with one gone in the inning, and one of the hottest hitters in their lineup, Taylor, who was ready to attack Hayden Murphy, the pitcher, but after going ahead in the count 3-0, Murphy battled his way back, dotting pitches at the lower part of the zone and on the outer half to strike out Devin Taylor, and then Nathan Hall grounded out to end that sixth frame. So 1-1 the score remains, and a 3-1 count here from Ellwanger to Cantwell. Hard hit ball into left field. Going back on it, Compton, deep into the alleyway. He receives that for out number 1.
And Ellwanger came on, ran into a little bit of trouble in his first inning of work, gave up that 2-out double against Kyle Johnson, but ever since that moment, just been lights out on the mound.
Yeah, it's been 9 up, 9 down. And now a visit from Mike Roberts before Kyle Johnson's third at-bat of the game. He is 1 for 2. And they will leave James Ellwanger in for one batter in this top of the 7th inning. 1-1 still the score remains. Johnson is the batter, and a new pitcher into the game for the Kettleers. We'll tell you who it is when we return on the Kettleers Digital Network. Stay tuned. Cotuit Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
The unexpected happens. Make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
At Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod. Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream.
Has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend. Willow Bend has
Michael Ebner will pitch for the Kettleers as the second call to the bullpen is made by Mike Roberts. James Ellwanger's day is done. He allowed just one hit. Plenty of strikeouts and 8 up from the 4th to the start of the 7th innings here. And just a great outing from James Ellwanger, his second time out.
Ellwanger was masterful on the mound, went 3 1/3, allowed just the one hit, like you mentioned, to Kyle Johnson, who digs in, but 5 strikeouts and really had command of all of his pitches and gave exactly what head coach Mike Roberts wanted from him out of the bullpen.
So here's Michael Ebner. His first pitch is low and outside to Kyle Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 2. Double back in the 4th. That was against Ellwanger. He struck out against Ianson, one of Ianson's 3 strikeout victims. Count elevates to 1-1 on the 90-mile-an-hour pitch from Michael Ebner, who's in his second appearance of the summer. Pitched in Game 2 against Orleans, went 3 innings, didn't give up any hits, held batters to a 0 average against, went 9 up, 9 down against the Orleans lineup, and that was a game where the Kettleers were up 2-0 throughout pretty much the entire game. It was a pair of solo shots. And now the 1-2 pitch is hammered on the ground towards Cerny. Throw to first is high, but Thatch receives it for the first out. So there's 2 gone now in the top of the 7th. That brings up Campbell Smithwick. But more on that, Ebner going 9 up, 9 down against that Orleans lineup. And that was just a massive performance to keep the Firebirds right where they were, eat up the rest of those innings, and eventually send the Kettleers to their first win of the summer.
And in that game, too, Merritt Beaker also went 3 innings, also allowed just 1 hit. And that bullpen performance was excellent that game.
Yeah, the Kets have had to rely on their bullpen, who has a plethora of strong arms that Mike Roberts can go to. And Michael Ebner, who hasn't really had an opportunity in these last few games because they've had so many available arms. The way that their starters have gone, the amount of innings that the Kettleers staff has had to pitch, which 55, that's the least in the Cape Cod Baseball League. So there hasn't been too many opportunities for a guy like Ebner, who is planning on sticking around for a bit longer than some of these pitchers out in the bullpen for the Kettleers. Just recently finishing up his sophomore campaign at SC. And now with the count 0-2, misses low to Smithwick. 1-2 on the 83-mile-an-hour breaking ball. So across 48 innings and 2 seasons at USC so far this year, Ebner with 44 strikeouts and a 5.44 ERA, lowering his ERA by nearly 2 points after his freshman campaign. Count elevates to 2-2 on Campbell Smithwick, who is 1 for 2. Singled against Ianson, struck out looking against Ellwanger. Tipped foul on the first base side above the Kets dugout. And Smithwick remains alive at 2-2. Smithwick played at Ole Miss this past season, .253 hitter there and 75 ABs, as the 2-2 pitch is hit high in the air towards center field, and it fans up into the air as Nathan Hall makes the over-the-shoulder grab and walks into the fence for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down worked by the Kettleers. A contribution from James Ellwanger and Michael Ebner, and 1-1 the score remains as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning from Lowell Park. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
At Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod. Escape the summer heat.
7th inning stretch from Lowell Park. Alan Gladstone on the home grandstand trying to get this crowd riled up in a 1-1 ball game. The heart of the order coming up for the Kettleers. The 5-man Brandon Compton awaits his first looks at Hayden Murphy in a really well-pitched game by both of these squads tonight here, Alex.
That's exactly right, Joe. You saw Kyson Witherspoon get the start for Chatham. Just allowed 3 hits. Murphy came on, worked a 1-2, allowed the 1 hit by pitch to Naraki, but other than that, 2 strikeouts against Ballou and Taylor. And on the flip side for Cotuit, they've held this Chatham offense to just 5 hits and 8 total hits in this game. 2 runs, 1 on each side. So a pitcher's duel here at Lowell Park.
Hayden Murphy back on the bump, starting his second inning of work. Brandon Compton takes outside, and the count is 1-0. So we were pleased to be joined by Shane Patagna in the 6th inning, talking about his feature article coming out tomorrow with Nolan Naraki and Nathan Hall being roommates at Clemson, roommates at the Vineyard, and now making the transition from Clemson now to the Cape League. So playing in the NECBL, those guys, and at college, and now here in Cotuit. Popped up in foul ground. The third baseman has room. Johnston flags that one down as he was grasping against the netting down that third base line. And quickly there is one gone, with Brandon Compton being retired for the second time today.
It was a nice play by Johnston. Had to range toward the netting over there, battle the net, and haul in that ball. So a nice defensive play by Jet Johnston.
Tyler Cerny is 0 for 2, and his first looks against Murphy. Cerny getting his second taste of summer ball this season with the Kettleers, as it's off the middle of his bat and flared into center field, giving chase, and that's going to fall into no man's land. Tyler Cerny's first hit of the day, and in back-to-back innings, the Kettleers have a base runner.
It's the first base hit for Cotuit since the bottom of the 4th when Brandon Compton singled, and hits have been hard to come by for Cotuit's offense, just 4 today. A nice piece of hitting by Cerny, flaring a pitch into no man's land in center field, and you saw Jaden Davis, the center fielder Austin Overin, and John Bay all converge on that ball, but it falls in between them. And sometimes all you need is a bloop single, and now it brings up Brooks Bryan, who just looking to put a ball in play here.
Kettleers actually going to make their first pinch hitting change of the day. A.J. Gracio will grab a bat and hit for Brooks Bryan. Got the start in yesterday's game, drove home the first run of the ball game for the Kettleers. Gracio with an RBI single to score Naraki, and the Kettleers took a 1-0 lead, and they would not give up that lead for the entire rest of the game at Brewster last night in a 6-1 win to extend their win streak to 3. So an opportunity for Gracia to have his ABs against Hayden Murphy, or first AB at that, as he is trying to extend this inning for the Kettleers and maybe put them ahead, hopefully en route to their 4th win of this young season. Still trying to climb their way up into the Western Division standings. Hyannis still at the top there. And the 2-0 pitch to Gracia finds the lower and outside half. It's 2-1. So speaking of some other games going on in the Cape League right now, Brewster in the bottom of the 1st at Orleans, up 1-0. Hyannis maintaining a 3-1 win against Wareham. Those are 1 and 2 in the West Division. As Gracia gets one in off his hands, shoots it on the ground towards short. Diving play by Lodis, but he won't have a play. So an infield single for Gracia. And the Kettleers have something brewing here in the 7th.
A nice stop by Lodis to keep that ball on the infield. Just couldn't pop up and make the throw in time to nab Gracia. And back-to-back singles on balls that haven't been hard hit, but that's sometimes all it takes. You get one hit that leads to another, and now a big spot for Tanner Thatch.
Yeah, well placed as Lodis was playing closer to the bag at second, trying to get that double play ball. A really nice job and good effort by him to snare it on the backhand, but with Gracia running up that first base line, he's got pretty good speed, so unable to get him. 1-0 count to Tanner Thatch. He's 0 for 2 today and takes low and outside. 2-0, 94 on the gun from Murphy. Thatch appeared to have the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Kettleers in the 2nd inning. There were 2 outs in the frame. He grounded one to 3rd. It was scooped up by the first baseman, Cantwell. And the call on the field initially was a single for Thatch as he blasts one to right field. Going back on it, John Bay looking up, and that ball is gone. Into the Chatham bullpen, and Tanner Thatch has given the Kettleers a 4-1 lead. First home run of the summer for the 2023 returner. And the Kettleers have jumped out to a 3-run lead.
You were waiting for the one big blow from this Cotuit offense. As the home run ball's been a part of their game, but also Mike Roberts has to be proud. 2 singles getting on base, setting the tone for this inning is 2 not really hard hit balls. And then, of course, the big blast by Thatch there. And that ball was hit well up in the air. Was close to see if it was staying in the park, but the wind helped it blow it out, and that ball was crushed off the bat of Thatch.
A towering drive by Tanner Thatch. And Jaron Advincula digs in. The count is 1-0 on him. Hayden Murphy trying to recover after giving up a 3-run blast to Tanner Thatch. Much needed for him. Flared into the alleyway, giving chase John Bay. Laying out, he can't make the play. Advincula racing for second. He will hold up there. Back-to-back extra base hits for the Kettleers as Advincula knocks his second double of the season.
It was only a matter of time for this Cotuit offense to come alive, and now 4 consecutive hits against Hayden Murphy here really has Chatham on the rails, and this was a back-and-forth game, just real pitchers duel, waiting for one offense to finally put some things together, and it's been Cotuit in the bottom of the 7th here.
A 342-footer from Tanner Thatch, 91 off the bat. He really got under it. But the Kettleers will take it any way they can get it. Wind blowing that one out into right field. Now a mound visit on the mound for Smithwick and Hayden Murphy. With one gone, Jaron Advincula in scoring position, so a golden opportunity for the Kets to extend this 7th frame. Murphy ready to go again as Ballou takes inside. Ballou is 0 for 3, struck out twice and lined out sharply to first base in his first AB. Ball gets away from Smithwick, and Advincula will move up to 90 feet. So another wild pitch on the day by these 2 Chatham arms. And it ushers Jaron Advincula to third.
Most likely you're going to see Chatham bring the infield in here as just a ground ball. If they kept the infield back, would have likely scored the speedy Advincula from third. And now look for Ballou to try and elevate a ball and hit it into the outfield and try to get a sac fly to play Advincula and extend the Kettleers' lead to 5-1.
So the infield is up for Max Ballou. Trying to keep this score at 4-1. He has to twist out of the way of that one. Up and inside from Murphy at 93 miles an hour. And the count now 2-0 on Ballou.
That pitch came in close, and Ballou, he had to back out of the way.
3-0, hammered down the right field line, but foul. Kettleers dugout making some noise. At the first base coach, Will Thompson, holding everybody's gear as they made their way to first. The 3-1 pitch to Ballou, misses up and away. And Will Thompson's hands will get even more full. Oh no, good move by Ballou there to toss his gear to the first base side. And let's take a look at Will Thompson at first base.
I don't know how he's holding everything. It's impressive.
He's got long arms.
Yes, that's the advantage of being 6'7".
Ballou reaches for the first time. And Nolan Rocky's the batter with runners on the corners. You know, as Will Thompson says, that is just a sign that a lot of guys have gotten on base. And that is definitely the case in this 7th inning for the Cats. A bunt is popped straight up, and Murphy has it. So an unfortunate chop there from Nolan Naraki, and he is the second out of this inning.
Interesting decision to bunt. Naraki's been one of the hotter hitters in this Kettleer lineup, and has been swinging a hot bat. Was one for two today, but just popped the bunt straight up. Would have been curious to see if he swung away, but I guess trying to avoid the double play with Ballou standing out first.
Devin Taylor is the batter. He's 1 for 3, takes outside. Worked his way into a 3-0 count the last time he was up. Murphy was able to battle back. That was back in the 6th inning. The third batter that Murphy faced and has now ran into some trouble here in the 7th as Taylor takes down low, and it's 2-0. 93 on the gun from Murphy.
One of our fellow interns, Will Marquette, says, yeah. Okay. Third's good again. Okay.
Taylor checks his swing at the 2-0 fastball, and it's 2-1. Taylor with 36 home runs across his first 2 years at Indiana, most recently with 20 this past season. Now just 11 home runs away from tying the program's home run record. Only Alex Dickerson has been able to hit more home runs in his first 2 seasons at Indiana. He hit 38 across his first 2 campaigns. That was in 2009 and 2010. So Taylor just 11 more. Runner takes off early, and Taylor chops it foul.
Murphy didn't even realize that Ballou took off. Heard screams for the Chatham dugout to step off the mound. Could have had Ballou in a rundown there. But luckily for him, Taylor swing away, chops that one foul.
Actually, you think third be better? Or still on base at second? Yeah. Be ready on third.
We'll see if Ballou takes off again with the count 2-2. 2 gone with Murphy on the mound trying to escape this 7th frame, and misses up high. And back-to-back full counts are faced to Devin Taylor, who is 1 for 3. A strikeout, a single, and a flyout. So a .315 hitter his freshman year at IU. Spent some time in the outfield, a bit as DH, and now he goes down on strikes. He chases after a high fastball, and the Kettleers will strand 2 runners on base in the 7th inning. Not before Tanner Thatch's first home run of the summer. They lead it 4-1 as we go into the 8th on the Kettleers Digital Network. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
And landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville. Beacon Gardens.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee. RCA Electric and Generators.
Top of the 8th inning from Lowell Park, the Anglers digging in. Tanner Thatch heads out to his post at first base. He just put the Kettleers up 4-1 with his first home run of the summer, a 342-footer, following up the 2023 summer with the Kettleers where he hit 3 homers out of the ballpark. The first pitch from Michael Ebner is down in the dirt to Jet Johnson, 9-man in the order who will lead things off for the Anglers. And it's 1-0. So really nice to see from Tanner Thatch, who's been able to get some base hits and put a lot of hard hit balls in play, but hasn't been able to break through with that long ball yet.
That was such a much-needed home run, and you mentioned the quality at bats and the good swings that Thatch has been putting on baseballs, but it's always good to see the results finally come through and break through, and such a big moment, and helping out your team with the game tied at 1, just blasting a home run there definitely could boost his confidence.
Hammered on the ground towards short. Cerny gloves it. A high throw, but Thatch is able to make the play. Johnson thought he was safe and beat it out up the line, but as soon as Thatch returned to the ground, it definitely beat Jet Johnson, who was chugging up that first base line. A 6-3 putout to start the top of the 8th inning for Michael Ebner. But Tanner Thatch really making a difference in the batter's box and on the field. Maybe even more so on the field in these past few games. A lot of those plays will go overlooked. First base, first pitch. Bounces into Austin Over.
Thatch using all of his 6'4" frame to elevate and come down to get the out there as the high throw from Cerny, but like you mentioned, making great plays in the field and at the dish.
Michael Ebner starts his second inning of work now. Retired this third batter straight there with the 6-3 putout, doing more of what he did against Orleans, which is pitching to contact, but not only that, pitching to weak contact. Locating his pitches well, low in the zone. The 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball, called a strike 2. 80 miles an hour there from Ebner.
Ebner's just consistently pounding the zone with strikes, getting ahead of hitters, and that's what's leading to his success early on in this outing.
His 1-2 is rolled on the ground towards first. Thatch an underhand flip. Ebner covers the bag, and the Kettleers have 2 quick outs to start off this 8th inning.
And Ebner's come on and really just pitched to contact here and letting his defense make the plays for him. Got a pair of ground outs here in this inning, a fly out to end last inning, and that's sometimes all you need is just let your defense make the plays. You don't always have to blow it past hitters.
Ebner starts out Jaden Davis with a ball outside at 80 miles an hour. Yeah, that was the 12th straight Anglers batter to be retired. The Kettleers have retired 15 of the last 16 Chatham batters. And that was, of course, across James Ellwanger and now Michael Ebner's relief outings, both of which in their second relief outings of the season. Just a testament to how deep this Kettleers rotation is. The 2-0 pitch is flared high and out of play down the right field line. Jaden Davis is 0 for 3 today. Strikeout, flyout, and a ground out. Michael Ebner with a solid season at USC this past year, but really finishing strong. His second to last outing, a 4-inning performance against Utah, where he allowed just 1 hit, walked 1, and struck out 4. Line drive to right field. Leaping up is the right fielder, Ballou, and he has out number 3. So the Kettleers are able to work the Anglers 3 up, 3 down, 5 straight retired by Michael Ebner, and they protect a 4-1 lead as we go into the bottom of the 8th on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969, regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399. Back from Lowell Park for the bottom of the 8th inning. Kettleers lead it 4-1. And Nate Hall will lead things off for the Kettleers. An 0-for-3 day at the plate so far. Really solid pitching on both sides for both of these teams, as Chance Cox out of Austin, PA, will be the next arm in the game for the Anglers, relieving Hayden Murphy, who pitched in relief of Kyson Witherspoon. He went 5 innings pitched. He allowed 1 run. It was unearned. Then Hayden Murphy entered the game. Things were going well in that 6th inning. Was able to escape after a runner got in scoring position, but then ran into some issues in the 7th inning. The Kettleers knocked 4 hits, one of which being Tanner Thatch's first home run of the summer, a 3-run bomb that put the Kettleers up 3 going into this 8th inning. So a late lead for the Kets as the new pitcher in for the Anglers, Chance Cox, tall left-handed reliever, 6'2", 205, out of Austin, PA, with a 1-0 record already this summer. Cox hails from Oklahoma City. 1 game so far this year, an inning and 2/3, gave up 2 hits. No walks, no strikeouts, and was able to earn the win. So he starts off Nathan Hall with a strike, recently making that nice catch in right field, leaping up to grab the 3rd out of that top of the 8th inning. Now he takes up and away. It's 1-1. Cox out of Cowley Community College, played there in 2023, then transferred to Austin, PA in January. And now Hall fights one off just outside of the infield. Leaping up is Cantwell, and he pulls it down for out number 1.
It's a nice grab by Cantwell there, an athletic play from the first baseman, ranging back and leaping up to snag that ball for out number 1 as Hall just tried to saw it off and get soft contact to fall for what would have been his first hit of the day.
So Cox spent the fall in Houston, made his way there from Cowley Community College, and then decided to transfer to Austin, PA. Did not pitch in the fall at Houston, but his last action since transferring came at Cowley Community College. That was back in 2023. Appeared in 15 games, made 14 starts there, an 8-1 record. 79 innings pitched, maintain a 2.72 ERA in 2023. Batters hitting just at a 201 clip against him. The 1-1 pitch to Compton, fans and misses, and he is back to 1-2.
He had a stretch that season where he didn't allow a run in 10 consecutive innings, so really nice stuff from the lefty Cox.
1-2 to Compton. Breaking ball that he spoils foul down the 3rd base line. Yeah, Cox, a highly touted player out of high school, moved into Cowley Community College, now making the transfer from Houston to Austin, PA. But at Mustang High School, reached the 21 Oklahoma Class 6A championship game. So state championship in Oklahoma as a senior. 1-2 pitch is low and outside. 2-2 to Compton. Compton's 1 for 3, a single in the 4th. A couple of flyouts bookending that AB. Wind still blowing here at Lowell Park as the 1-2 pitch is low and outside, but called a strike 3 to get Brandon Compton for the 3rd time today. So 2 quick outs worked here by Chance Cox, and there are 2 gone for the Kettleers in the bottom of the 8th.
That pitch was painted on the outside corner from Cox there. Compton thought it was ball 3 and worked the full count, but That pitch just clipped the outside corner.
Take center. Give me Cox on third. Or actually first. If you can get the left hand.
Cerny takes down low, 1-0.
I'll take first.
Cerny digs back in after scoring a run on Thatch's home run that last inning and improved to 1 for 3 with a single that was popped up between the second baseman Jaden Davis and Overn in center. Just kind of fell right at the feet of both of those two, right in no man's land. So Cerny, his first looks at Chance Cox. Rolls it on the ground past the third baseman Johnston down the line. Cerny is thinking too. He's headed that way. The throw comes in from Johnson. And it is not going to be close as Tyler Cerny glides into second base with a stand-up double. So he improves to 2 for 4 on the day and extends the bottom of the 8th inning with his second double of the summer.
Just a really nice piece of hitting there from Cerny, grounding that hard down the third base line. You see the speed there, legging out the double without a throw.
Now here's Matt Klein. So a pinch hitter, A.J. Gracia, in the last inning was able to hit a single. He was pinch hitting for Brooks Bryan, who went 0 for 2. Now pinch hitting for him, or a defensive substitution at that, Matt Klein will dig in. So Tyler Cerny moves up to third. First stolen base of the day for the Kettleers. And an opportunity for Klein in his first AB here to drive in a run. Lefty on lefty matchup, Klein awaits. And fans and misses at a first pitch. Nice breaking ball there at 78 from Cox. 0-1. .291 hitter this past season at Louisville. Klein, a really solid defensive catcher, was named Kentucky's top high school catcher headed into his freshman year at Louisville. The Johnny Bench Award winner in 2021, given out to the top high school catcher in the state of Kentucky. As the next pitch falls low and outside, and he is ahead in the count 3-1. Suffered an injury during his 2023 campaign. Played in just 10 games for Louisville. 6 starts and his season was cut short. Hit 300 though. 6 hits and 20 at-bats. A double, a home run, drove in 5. Really made a difference early on despite not playing a full season as a freshman. Moved on this year to have a great year at Louisville. Now the count is 3-2. And Klein takes ball 4.
That was a tough pitch to lay off for Klein as Cox went back to that outside corner again. This similar pitch to what he got the called strike 3 on Brandon Compton for, but this time just pushed it too far off the plate. A smart decision by Klein to lay off and draw the walk.
And now the man who put the Kettleers up 4-1 in this ball game, Tanner Thatch, steps in with 2 runners on base once again in back-to-back innings. The first pitch he sees from Cox, hammered into left field, going back on it Johnson, and the yard holds it this time as the Kettleers will leave 2 more runners on base in the 8th inning. Still a 4-1 lead as we go to the 9th on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis. Operating on Cape Cod since
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. Top of the 9th inning and 3 outs to go for the Kettleers as the dark skies above Lowell Park continue to darken. Have been able to escape some rainstorms these past few days. A little rain came down yesterday at Brewster, but not enough to cancel that game. As the first pitch from Ebner to the first batter, he faces Ike Irish in the top of the 9th inning. Rattles off of a car in the parking lot.
Missing those kids. They were supposed to be defending the parking lot.
They let it get by. A seeing eye foul ball. Next pitch misses, and it's 1-1. So how about this performance in relief from James Ellwanger and now Michael Ebner? The Kettleers have retired 16 of the last 17 Chatham batters. Next pitch is fanned at and missed. Irish is 1 for 3, strikeout looking. Line drive straight back to Anthony Ianson in the first inning was his first out. The 1-2. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Irish goes down on strikes. It's the first one of the day for Michael Ebner, and there's 1 gone in the top of the 9th.
Both Michael Ebner and James Ellwanger have came in and just been excellent today, but Ebner's done it a different way than Ellwanger, really relying on his stuff, not getting the punch outs, just his first strikeout there, and really letting his defense help him out and make the plays.
Really solid defensive game played by the Kettleers so far. 1 error for Chatham. That came in the first inning. The Kettleers scored an unearned run off of that. No errors on the board for the Kettleers. Next pitch misses high and wide, and it's 1-1 on John Bay, who is 0 for 3. So, Alex, did you have a chance to take a look at Ket's trivia today?
I did.
Yeah?
Threw me for a loop at first, but I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
I think I did.
The 2004 Kettleer, the second player in MLB history to have played in, or to have played for every single team in the American League East. 2 players have done it, one for the Red Sox winning the World Series as Ebner gets back-to-back strikeouts to start off this 9th inning. Third strikeout of the day for John Bay, and he is 0 for 4. The Kettleers are 1 out away from completing their 4th straight victory. The answer, 13-year Major League Baseball veteran Steve Pearce and 2018 World Series MVP for the Red Sox. Played for the Kettleers back in 2004. Ebner misses with the first one to Kyle Lodise. It's 1-0. Lodise is 1 for 3. And the 1-0 pitch is hit high in the air towards center field. A lazy fly for Nathan Hall. He hauls it down, and the Kettleers have won 4 straight, picking up another win here at Lowell Park this season, and they improve to 5-3 on the year. As Chatham falls back to 4-4 with a 4-1 victory today, the Kettleers take down the Anglers for the first time this season.
Just excellent pitching today from the Kettleers pitching staff, and it all started with Anthony Ianson giving up just the 1 run in 3 innings, but today Mike Roberts' bullpen, just 2 guys used, James Ellwanger, Michael Ebner, 2 masterful outings. Ellwanger struck out 5. Michael Ebner relied on using his defense for plays there, but the Cotuit fielding also extremely solid today, and Ebner really continuing on his strong 2024 campaign.
Yeah, it was the bullpen that stole the show for the second half of the game, but the offense getting things going early on, getting a run in that bottom of the first inning. I mean, how major is that? After Chatham led off the game, the first pitch of the game was hit deep into the trees in right center field off the bat of Austin Overn. But to be able to get that run back in the bottom of the first and then let both of these pitchers duel throughout the rest of the start of this game, how big was that?
And the Kettleers had a lot of hard contact to begin that bottom of the first. Max Ballou, although he didn't reach, hit a bullet to the third baseman, Jet Johnson, but Nolan Naraki, Devin Taylor both get on, and that was something that Mike Roberts talked about a bunch with our own Adele Huffman, is getting singles and doing a good job of doing all the little things at bat, working deep in accounts, and it was Nolan Naraki and Devin Taylor who both reached on singles, and it was a pickoff move by the pitcher, Kyson Witherspoon, trying to pick off Devin Taylor at first, just spiked it in the dirt, and that got away from the first baseman, Luke Cantwell. That easily allowed Nolan Naraki to score. Taylor moved all the way up to third, and it was just so paramount for Cotuit to battle back, tie things up at 1, especially after going down after the first pitch of the ball game, and that gave Anthony Ianson some confidence. Came back, worked in and out of trouble in that second inning, and just pitching was excellent the rest of the way through.
Yeah, pitching really picked up, and the bullpen needed it to happen today. Kettleers with a really deep rotation, and we saw guys who maybe haven't been in the games in recent outings for the Kettleers, and Ebner being one of them. He hasn't been in a game for the Cats since Game 2 of the season, and so how about that for him to kind of have a bit of a longer rest period ahead of this performance and then be able to go out there and be able to have a performance the way that he did.
And it was much needed. All these guys, especially with the deep and as talented as this Kettleers team is, you have to be ready whenever your number is called. As Ebner came on, pitched 2 2/3, did not allow a base runner and struck out 2, and just always being ready and having that mindset of I need to do my job when I come into the game was paramount for Ebner today, and it was crucial for the victory.
Yeah, it definitely was. Kettleers extending that win streak to 4 wins, now 5-3. Third in the West. Some other games going on along the Cape Cod Baseball League right now. This one just getting complete. YD about to hand Bourne their 5th loss of the season. Falmouth beating Harwich in the 5th inning right now, 5-1. Falmouth desperately needing a win after dropping another one last night, and they are 1-6. Hyannis holds a 5-2 lead over Wareham. Brewster knotted up at 1s with Orleans in the top of the 4th there. So a lot going on still around the Cape Cod Baseball League. Right now just waiting for Mike Roberts to conclude this huddle after a 4th straight win for the Cats and 5th of the season. In just a few moments, he'll be joined at field level with Adele Huffman for a post-game interview. And Mike Roberts, for him, just must be great to get this win against a Chatham team who he obviously has ties to. The great John Schiffner being a coach for them for many years and coached his son, Brian Roberts, there back in 1998 when they were able to come away with the Cape Cod Baseball League championship. And so definitely meaningful for Mike Roberts to pick up a win against a storied franchise such as the Chatham Anglers.
Definitely meaningful, and just the way that Cotuit came back and battled back, as this was a pitcher's duel all the way through. And Mike Roberts has talked about all year long seeing development and seeing growth from his guys, and that can be summed up with the player of the game today, Tanner Thatch, who broke this game open, gave Cotuit the 4-1 advantage with his 3-run home run. He's a player who was scuffling heading into this game and put together a couple of quality at-bats, but it was just looking for that one big moment, and he unloaded on the pitch there, smacked the 3-run home run, and that was all the Kettleers pitching staff needed to secure the 4-1 victory.
Mike Roberts bringing so much emphasis to the singles these past few games and this past week. It was 2 singles that put 2 runners on base to start off that 7th inning, and then Tanner Thatch cleaned off the bases with a 3-run homer, and massive for him to finally get that on the board, get the monkey off his back, and hopefully start something into his 2nd year for the Kettleers, as he has been making some really solid contact with a lot of baseballs, but they just haven't been able to squeeze through at times. So another great day for Tanner Thatch. Obviously a great day for him in the field, as it seemingly always is, and another great day defensively for the Cats, and I think that's something that maybe we don't pay too much attention to amidst this 4-game winning streak.
You make a really good point there, Joe, and defensively, Cotuit's, you've seen an emphasis on them playing clean baseball, and that's something that they've been capitalizing. Saw Brewster make 2 errors last night. Saw Chatham make an error tonight, and they've been scoring a lot of unearned runs and making teams pay for their defensive woes.
Yeah, the Kettleers with an error in their win against Harwich on Thursday night. Friday night, not making any errors against Hyannis. playing in last night's game at Brewster. No errors in that contest as well, and no fielding blemishes today for the Kettleers as Adele Huffman awaits Mike Roberts at field level for his post-game interview after this 4-1 win over Chatham. Another great day on the mound for Anthony Ianson, who started things off and recovered really nicely after giving up that leadoff home run. Went 3 innings pitched, gave up 4 hits, no walks, and struck out 3. And then after that, it was time for James Ellwanger to enter into the game for the Kettleers. He went 3 1/3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, struck out 5, no walks. Then it was Michael Ebner, 2 2/3, no hits, no runs, of course, and 2 strikeouts. 10 strikeouts to no walks for the Kettleers staff today, and amongst those 9 innings pitched, they allowed 5 runs and 1 earned run, and it came on the first pitch of the ball game. So how massive is that, Alex, to be able to get 27 up and nearly 27 down after giving up that home run, but no runs throughout the rest of those 27 outs?
The pitching has been masterful. Last night was great. You only gave up the 1 run in the win against Brewster, just 2 a couple of games ago against Hyannis, so 4 runs surrendered in the last 3 games, and they've gotten contributions up and down this rotation. It all started with Ianson out on the mound, but it's been giving this Cotuit lineup a chance to, maybe if they struggle in the beginning, get their swings, see and feel these pitchers out, as you have the confidence in your pitching staff that you know we can only score 2, maybe 3 or 4 runs a game, and we know that we're going to come away with a victory.
And just 3 pitchers used today for the Kets. Going into an off day, that must be huge just to be able to give the rest of this bullpen some extra rest as we move into a stretch of the schedule where off days aren't too easy to come by.
That's exactly right, as after the off day tomorrow, Cotuit plays from the 25th all the way to June 30th, and another off day on July 1st, and then another 6-game stretch. So baseball, there's going to be a lot of it over the next 2.5 weeks, so definitely it's paramount for these pitchers to give length and really just not use a lot in these games that you don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. Ianson making his start today, set to join Team USA in just a few weeks alongside Ben Jacobs, a few other arms on this staff. Joey Volchko, who we saw in last night's game at Brewster in his first appearance for the Kets, he will move on to the Team USA roster this season, and a few position players as well. One talking things over with the Kettleers general manager Bruce Murphy. Also Brooks Bryan is having a chat with Mike Roberts as he is set to join that roster. A few other Kettleers names being A.J. Gracia is also going to make his way to that National Development Program down in Cary, North Carolina. We hope a few of these guys are able to return and continue their summer with the Kettleers. It's off to a good start after starting off 1-3. It was the worst start for the Kettleers since 2016, but have since rebounded in a even bigger way at 5-3 as they continue to climb the Western Division and improve that home record to 2-2. They own a 3-1 record on the road, but have now won 4 of their last 5 games. And so for the Kettleers, just to keep things going after the off day, they play Falmouth, a struggling team, but you can't get too complacent in this Cape Cod Baseball League at all.
That's exactly right, Joe. And you mentioned off days, and that's kind of what it took for the Kettleers to jumpstart their season. They were 1-3, had an off day, and came back and instantly put up 18 runs in a win against Harwich. And then you've seen the pitching really come alive. The 4-2 win over Hyannis, 6-1 win over Brewster last night. So the pitching's been great. The offense has been great for the Kets.
Good offense, good pitching, good fielding for the Kets, and Adele Huffman is ready to talk things over postgame with Mike Roberts after a 4-1 win over the Anglers. What do you have for us, Adele?
Hey, my name's Adele. We're moving around. We're moving around down here. I'm joined by head coach Mike Roberts for the 10th inning. Coach Roberts, what a fantastic win, 4-1 against Chatham. How big is this for us?
Well, you know, I've always said, you know, you play the 40 games this year, is 44 last, just add them up at the end. It's what I like about it is 2 really good clubs. They threw out great pitching today. We threw out great pitching today, and you just had to battle. And then we got a wonderful swing out of Tanner Thatch there to kind of take it home for us. So it was a fun ball game.
We sure did. That home run in the 7th inning from Tanner Thatch to put the Kettleers ahead, how big was that?
Well, it was the game winner. And I told him, I said, Tanner, you finally got a wind-blown home run, because the ball he hit in the bottom of the 8th inning was hit better in left field, and it didn't fall, so he laughed a little bit. He's a great young man. This is a wonderful, wonderful group of guys, and they are very competitive, and that's what I like, and I want our fans to see that competitiveness. That's the most important thing.
And tonight was Fan Appreciation Night.
Oh, was it?
One of the season. So how awesome is it to see everybody out here?
Yeah, what about, a couple of us stood out here since we didn't take BP on the field today and just kind of gazed across the landscape and the beautiful background of the trees that Barnstable Land Trust made sure that Cotuit had for forever and ever, that they purchased a few years ago. But if there's a prettier little summer baseball park in the United States, I want to, as soon as the season's over with, I want to get on a plane and go see it, because I don't think there is.
I don't either, Coach. And one last question. James Elwanger and Brooks Bryan had just great chemistry on the field tonight. How important is that between a pitcher and a catcher?
We've talked about it. We had a catcher's meeting, and it's number one. The pitchers must want to throw to our 3 wonderful catchers, and they got to want to throw to them, and they got to trust them. They call their own pitches. We don't call them here like a lot of the teams do. And they got to know they can block the baseball. And so, yeah, we're working on building that chemistry, and really it's on the catchers, okay? I'll leave it up to them, and you can smell it and feel it, as you were talking about tonight.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations. Be sure to tune in on Cape Cod TV this coming Tuesday at home against Falmouth at Lowell Park. This has been Adele Huffman at Lowell Park. We'll see you on Tuesday, Cotuit fans.
Thanks, Adele, and thank you, Mike Roberts, for a great post-game interview after their 4th straight win. And Mike Roberts being very appreciative of the Chatham team, who threw out an incredible arm today, as he mentioned, and just talking about how lucky we are to be able to enjoy baseball games at this great Lowell Park this summer. And I think that's pretty much the attitude that we should be taking into this off day, huh, Alex?
That's exactly right. Just appreciate the great baseball that the Kettleers have been playing. Winners of their last 4 straight, getting contributions up and down the lineup and masterful pitching over the last 3 games.
Absolutely. A 4-1 win for the Kettleers, their 4th straight, and their first one against the Anglers this season. That'll do it for our coverage from Lowell Park for Game 8 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season. For our production crew, Jimmy Shantulis, Cam Christie, for our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, and for my broadcast partner, Alex Rocco, I have been Joe Pratt. We thank you for tuning in to the Kettleers against the Anglers, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday night when the Kettleers do battle against the Falmouth Commodores for the first